Yes. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Speak On It podcast. I am your host, Big Mike. If you can see me, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can see I am decked out. It is a glorious night tonight. But I'm not alone. You know I've got the squad with me. We're going to have a fun night tonight. Might have a special guest. We're going to get right into it because there's a lot going on in the world of sports. You know I got to bring in the Mad Producer Podcast Poppy in the building.
It wasn't just a wonderful night, Michael. It's been a wonderful weekend. I've been lucky by the grace of God to celebrate another Victory Monday. All things are great.
Another person that is celebrating Victory Monday. We are resetting that Roz counter back to zero. Roz is in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm just not worthy. I don't know what's going on, but what an absolutely marvelous, I feel like I woke up, the birds are chirping, it just seemed like
food tastes better.
Food tastes so much better. The air was crisp. I went on a little
hydrated.
I went on a little walk today, and it was just like the world is just beautiful, man.
There's no problems. Nothing
Yeah.
can go wrong.
Business. I wore a collar today just to let you guys know that business was taken care of. So business as usual right now. Hopefully going forward.
And business as usual.
Introduce
Another
this fucking
long
loser.
week for my man Enoch in the building.
Three straight wins in fantasy, baby. 3 straight wins in fantasy, baby.
You see him trying to shift.
I'll take that. I'll take that. 3 straight wins in fantasy. I'll take that.
Before we recap me getting dog walked in fantasy football because Russell Wilson fucking stinks. He can't do shit correctly. He'll be a fucking loser.
Oh.
He's a fucking loser. I can't believe
right.
I played Cortland Sutton, not Tyler Boyd. I
Let's
fucking should have
right.
known better.
Let's
Fucking know better. What a fucking loser. Before we get into that,
That's right.
we need to talk, Anthony, about how Anthony said that the Guardians were going to take care of the New York Yankees, handle the New York Yankees, and how Aaron Rodgers and a pissed off, angry Aaron Rodgers was going to handle the New York Jets.
Apparently, his receivers weren't pissed off, unfortunately.
Because, man, oh man, did neither of those things that you said were going to happen.
Fucking ridiculous. I would at least thought the Packers would have beaten the Jets. Like, that's the part that's like.
Me and Mike were talking about this before the show, and I was like, Mike, do you realize why I said I think the Jets could beat the fucking Packers? I was like, because the strength of the Jets is the weakness of the fucking Packers.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike was like, you know what? We should have realized this.
So you guys are 4-2 now, right?
Yeah, and I was like, the reason why everyone refuses to believe that the Jets had a strength is because you guys think we're the Jets. That's it. It's the same old Jets, and we refuse to see things
Jets
that are in front of your face.
Wait, so who you got playing this week?
Denver.
That's right.
That's right. Is that
in New York?
It's in Mile High.
It doesn't matter anyway.
The Jets haven't lost an away game, so this is great. And Russell Wilson may not even play.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I was telling Mike, I was like, the Jets have already gotten their Denver Broncos Brett Ripien loss of the lifetime out of the way 3 years ago.
Yep,
so
I remember that.
We can't do that again. That's not going to happen. So
what you can't do is lose to a Russell Wilson-less Broncos.
Exactly.
You cannot do that.
Vegas is starting to catch on, and I don't like it. Vegas is starting to catch on to the thing the Jets are doing, and they made the Jets a 2.5-point dog.
Oh,
I don't like it.
Oh,
But they also made the money line pretty much a pick 'em.
But here's the question: can a Russell Wilson-less Broncos team be any worse?
Yes, because that defense is good enough. That defense is good.
No, I'm not talking about defense. I'm talking about the offense.
Maybe.
Yes, it can be because
Can the
Brett
offense?
the thing is, like, Russell Wilson is looking off receivers to check down, and then you get the occasional play where he can run out and then like make a play happen. Like he got that touchdown yesterday because he was able to roll out and find his tight end open because JC Jackson decided I'm just going to go to the middle of the field for no reason and gets an open touchdown. But with Ripien, whatever the fuck his last name is, you could just get him forcing balls, force feed. And that could be a terrible, terrible thing to do.
Yeah, it's a recipe for where the Jets should dominate a la more so than Green Bay, because you have them having their leading rusher be, and no disrespect to Latavius Murray, he's had a pretty darn good career, I'd say. But you sign Latavius Murray off the street. He's your number one guy. There's a little bit of dysfunction in the running back room. Melvin Gordon gets pulled. No one knows why he gets pulled.
Oh, I know why he got pulled.
Why do you feel he got pulled?
Because he
That was
sucks.
Thinking up the joint.
He sucks, and he was giving the coaches hella attitude.
Yeah, but the Broncos O line is nothing to scoff at either.
No, they're a good O line.
They're good. But Mike Boone is behind there, and then you have, whether it's Russ. I mean, like, if it's me, if you ask me, just for the not having to deal with the unknown aspect, I would say, I'd rather Russ be Russ and try to, dog it out and, like, let's ride and, like, we're not necessarily riding. We're getting a little.
But where are they riding to?
A nice trot. His hamstrings a little gippy, so we get a nice little trot, and then we go in there and we dominate. Because I think if the back end, is one of the strengths of the Jets, if the back end holds up, I think we can allow them.
This is a good receiving group too.
Yeah,
it's a big receiving group.
It is.
I don't think that the receiving group for the Broncos are more talented than what we saw from Cincinnati.
Absolutely not. Yep.
And so I think if we can have them not exactly replicate, but like if Sauce can do what he did against Cincinnati, and then DJ Reed can repeat what he's done recently, and the safeties seem to be much, much better communicating, I think we should. I mean, there should be no reason for the Jets to come out of this win. But again, Mile High is just one of those stadiums too. It has its own legendary aura. People having trouble breathing out there, and it's just the travel, back-to-back travel. That's not something to be like. The Jets haven't been home.
Very tough. Very tough.
The defense is sick, honestly.
It's very
and,
one of the three best defenses in football.
You want to talk about corners? That boy Surtain.
Surtain is the one. This is going to be one of those games where I just need Zach to just game manage.
It's going to be 9-7. Somebody's winning 9-7.
I mean, honestly.
Actually, I think it could be more than 9-7. Honestly, I think it'd be a 17-14.
I hope not, but I would
like for the Jets to be able to take over and win, like a solid win, like we've been doing. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And this group is so young that they don't. The legends of football's past don't seem to be following these kids.
They don't know better.
They don't know any better. The naivety with these guys is like ignorance is bliss, right? These kids know nothing of the Jets culture for 100 years at this point. They don't know the same old Jets. They don't know any of this. These kids, there's only like two people who were on this team during the Adam Gase era.
Yeah.
Like they don't know this shit. They just know Saleh and Douglas and what Saleh's trying to teach. And Saleh's been doing a great job of leading this young group. And they're playing with this swagger about them where they're just having fun. Like what rookie cornerback is running around Lambeau with a cheese head on it? Like that's just a complete lack of awareness of what's going on. But like when you go in there and it's the first time you beat the Packers in Lambeau since like 2003, like that's awesome. That's like the kids are having fun and they're playing really, really well. The kids are having a great time.
This wasn't supposed to happen, but
it wasn't supposed to happen like this.
The AFC East is kind of low key the most exciting division, in my opinion. Because if you think about it, think about it for a second. Tua's coming back. If he comes back and he could be healthy and play the way he was playing,
he's coming back into a Titanic, though. The
Steelers at home is not exactly.
The Steelers just beat the Bucs.
Yeah, but the Bucks are kind of a train wreck themselves too.
And
You got
so are
Brady.
Miami. Miami's got a lot happening to them right
You
now.
got old man Brady screaming at all the kids and shit, man. Like he's
Good.
But I mean, like
We
it's
love
it's gonna be
Brady
interesting.
struggling.
The AFC East and the NFC East are actually
NFC is yeah.
so hear me out on this, right? They're almost mirror images of each other. And I'll tell you this, at full strength, both of those divisions have teams that are separated by one win. They have teams who have been on surprising win streaks, a la the Giants, the second place teams, and the Jets,
minus
the second place
Washington.
team. Washington's
also not healthy either.
Yes, so Washington, I would argue, was one of those teams in the beginning of the season where people were like, "Oh, Washington can make some noise," just like the Patriots were that team. And now, while their quarterback is hurt, the Patriots seem to be getting their quarterback soon. And then you also have the third team, the third place teams, the Cowboys and the Dolphins, who were arguably at the beginning of the season top 5 teams in the league. So you have both divisions that are at their healthiest. You know, like they were, I think, at when they get to a point where they can be relatively healthy, I think those teams, those divisions at the end of the day might end up being the top 2 divisions in all of football. And we thought that it was going to be the AFC West, of course, because of like all the powerhouses there. And we thought they was going to beat up on each other, and to the extent that is somewhat true. Yes, they have been just beating on each other, and like which dies down the hype. But I mean, the AFC East and the NFC East they're not slouches. Like they're not slouches. They're not at all. All those teams have viable chances if they get on any type of like healthy run. They can make some serious noise. Like the Dolphins scare me still.
Dolphins, yes, the Dolphins can still be a very much so a problem. It's just they're running through every bit of adversity that can happen to them right now.
Yeah,
and they're not built for that quite yet.
The Cowboys are still like they had a tough defeat against Philly, but they're monsters on the defense.
They're getting Dak back.
They get Dak back. Gallup gets another game to kind of get his whole like feet underneath him. Him and Dak are prolific together.
Their division doesn't play anybody either, so they'll all be fine. They don't play anybody. They just play each other. That's the toughest game to play.
No, the next 4 games, the NFC North teams. They got Bears, the Lions. The next 2 weeks,
bad.
They're at Green Bay and at Minnesota. The next 2 weeks after that.
The best team they're going to be playing, like the Cowboys, can beat every single one of those teams that you just named.
Minus Minnesota.
Yeah.
No, they can beat Minnesota.
With Dak, maybe.
They can absolutely. Minnesota isn't exactly like this power.
On the road, no. I don't like him in Minnesota.
The NFC North isn't at like the first place team in the NFC North. The Minnesota Vikings really aren't like that much better than everybody. Their defense is terrible.
They're playing great football, though.
They're playing
great football.
They're playing good football, but that's to be expected when they get the coordinator that's going to use Justin Jefferson the way the Rams used Cooper Kupp last year. Like that's going to happen, but they're not like head and shoulders better than everybody. Like if the playoffs were to right now, they'd lose the first round of somebody. Like hands
they'd
down.
lose the first round.
First round.
But the
Patriots, they're like the number 2 seed. They would be the number 2 seed.
They'd be the number 2 seed. Yeah.
The Patriots are also a team that's like, even though to my chagrin, I feel like you want to write them off. Here comes Bill Belichick, just
like I said,
coaching his behind off, and just beating a Browns team that we beat. It just was out
beating the brakes off them,
like really beating the brakes off of them, and then like just to kind of shift around the NFL. I mean, like there was some huge redemption arcs around the NFL this week too. Like the Colts. Is Matt Ryan getting his mojo back? We don't know.
I don't know, Mike. Is Matt Ryan getting his mojo back?
Mike's going to ignore that.
No. Why are we doing this? Like,
Mike still thinks the Titans defense is good too. So I checked out the stat line. Bye week fucking ran 600 yards on the fucking Titans.
Mike, I would be a little worried about this week if I were you, man. That Colts team looked mean this past week. Matt Ryan Matt Ryan turned back the time. He turned that clock back. He put up a
Listen,
vintage Matt Ryan performance. Like
I am picking I'm always going to pick my Titans to win. But would it surprise me if the Colts won? No, because the Colts absolutely have to win this game. Because if the Colts do not win this game, this division is over.
It's not.
So
it's not. Though.
Do
you want to know why it's not? Because they have that tie.
Dylan, we would have swept
because
them.
that
cancels out the tie.
It doesn't cancel out the tie because win percentage.
We would be 2 games.
You wouldn't be tied.
Of them.
You wouldn't. But
be
here's the thing:
2 games ahead of them with the tiebreaker.
If you guys have the same amount of wins, or if they have, if you guys have the same amount of wins at the end of the year, they will get in over you because of win percentage, not because of record. They'll have a higher win percentage than you. They'll get in
2 games ahead of them.
But that also is hoping
and
you guys
still have to play the Texans twice.
But again, the Texans team also will give you a run for your money too. I'm not saying it because I think Titans are bad. I'm saying it because it's a divisional game. And the divisional games always play that way.
I always stand by that. Divisional games are just different beasts. I don't know.
You play each other so much, you know exactly what it is. And Houston has a boy over there that is on offense and defense that are both kind of growing up in front of your very eyes, and you should be kind of worried about this, Mike. They have a nice little running back there in Houston, a little Florida boy from the Bayou over in Gainesville, who is running through the league, and they have LSU Tiger at corner, who is also playing really well.
Yes, he is.
Derek Stingley, and you guys don't have receivers, so this can be fun.
I'm not worried about the Texans.
What's the worst team? What's the worst division in football right now?
The AFC South. It's the AFC and the NFC South. The 2 Southern divisions are fucking terrible.
The NFC South.
The NFC South is the worst division.
I think the NFC South is pretty.
The Buccaneers are. I mean, if you want to be serious, the Falcons are the best team in that division right now.
And that's crazy.
Yeah.
I said last week when we were doing our little post game that there's like 4 teams that are like not great teams, but are going to be beating the shit out of some of these teams and being what I call frisky. It's the Falcons, the Giants, the Jets, and the Lions. The Lions are going to be in that frisky tier in a couple weeks when they start hitting their stride in their schedule.
Yes.
When they start playing some winnable games, but their defense sucks. So that's fucking.
Their defense is brutal. They needed that bye so bad.
They needed it terribly bad, but you also know whose defense is also like one of the worst defenses in football is that first place team in NFC North. They have. I look at the defensive stats every twice a week or so I can see where the Titans are because of mine and Mike's bet, and I take a look at everybody else's stats too. Mike, the Titans are still like 26, by the way. The Vikings are the worst pass defense in football.
Yes.
The Vikings are hands down the worst pass defense in football. The Vikings are the only team in the NFL who have allowed more passing yards against them than the Titans. That's what's fucking crazy. It's just the Vikings the last couple weeks have gotten away with something too.
Surprisingly, Green Bay's passing defense was like number 1 or number 2 heading into that game against the Jets. And as much as I was kind of frustrated about how Zach Wilson's performance was in that passing offense, I mean, like, you got to give them credit, man. Like, they're definitely, like I mentioned, they were, I think, number 1 in touchdowns allowed going into that game, or they were like number 1 in passing yards allowed too heading into that game. So, I mean, like, they're definitely not slouches. So, like, you know, the Jets have a hard schedule. They go on the road back to back and they face 2 top 5 passing defenses and, you know, some pretty decent defenses heading into that time too. But I mean, like, again, to shift, like, what's going on with Chicago, man? Like,
they are fucking terrible.
Chicago, man. And Carolina. Like,
Matt Eberflus is an idiot.
They are ruining Justin Fields.
Yeah, setting up your quarterback to fail. That's
Just
101.
This is
101.
Sam Darnold all over again.
It's 101.
Just watching bad
just
things
see-
happen to a young kid, and they don't let him throw the ball.
He played hard. He played hard that game too.
Yeah,
He actually
and to be
played
fair,
good.
like Anthony said after the Thursday night game, man, go get Justin Fields some help. I'm like, Justin Fields missed a guy wide open.
Yeah,
The running back wide
no.
open.
He had some overthrows. I'm not going to let him off the hook for that.
That's to be expected.
Motherfuckers was dropping passes, man. They were dropping passes, and it was bad. That was some of the
offensive line's terrible, and they have no wide receivers, and
The offensive
Roquan
line
Smith
is
hates
terrible.
Chicago.
No, but that's not even. It's not even an overstatement. They literally have no receiver. Like
I
literally.
think Dante Pettis is their best receiver or something
And
like
that's
that right
terrible.
now.
Well, Darnell
That's
Mooney.
horrible.
Darnell Mooney, no, I'll take it back. Darnell Mooney he's
Darnell
a legit
Mooney.
talent though.
But
Darnell
yeah.
Mooney's a legit talent though.
And here's the thing. I even have to defend Carson Wentz a little bit because
I know you don't.
because his receivers were dropping passes too, man. It was just
He stinks.
You're not gonna act like you didn't see Curtis Samuel out here just like being a bum.
But
all
Curtis
over
Samuel's not a good wide receiver.
I think Carson Wentz stinks.
Here's the thing. I like Curtis Samuel, but Curtis Samuel, his whole career up to this point, has not been a good wide receiver. He's fast as shit, and he doesn't have hands. He drops a lot of balls.
Pretty good in the
He's
beginning of the
solid,
season.
but he doesn't do things you need wide receivers to do, like run
Like
routes well
catch the
and
ball?
catch the ball. He's never been that guy. He's a deep threat like Robbie Anderson, who fucking stinks too. Send one direction, track the ball, basket catch, all set. That's all they do.
I've never understood the Robbie Anderson hype. Like
I hate
I've
Robbie
never
Anderson.
understood-
I've never.
He's an
Robbie
okay
Anderson,
deep
I
threat.
do. I
No, he's a
actually
good
do
deep
understand
threat.
the Robbie
I
Anderson.
I give him.
hype.
He's a good deep threat,
It's
but he's
that
not a good
hype.
receiver.
It's that
No.
hype.
Speaking
I
of
hate-
Robbie Anderson, Robbie Anderson had an interesting week. And
Robbie Anderson's guy got fired and then ran into that game and tried to sabotage everything.
he apparently didn't see the interview that he had. They asked him how he felt about Rule being fired. And I mean, to be quite honest with you, he didn't seem pretty broken up about it to me. He was kind
Yeah,
of
but
like,
he's also like
whatever.
not. He's in his own eloquent Robbie Anderson way. He's like, I ain't don't know about it. Ain't no about it.
He was like, I mean, I don't care, basically. And then he goes and tries to, like Dylan said, sabotage Steve Wilkes on the sideline and get I think that's his offensive coordinator's face. And Steve Wilkes has to send him away. And then next thing we know, Robbie's off to the first thing smoking to Arizona. And now, we have a
Weekend to go to
dynamic
Arizona.
duo.
Call of Duty's coming out. He's gonna be playing Call of Duty with Kyler instead of going to the playbooks.
We have a dynamic duo. I mean, Arizona's not dead yet, but they have a dynamic duo now of Robbie Anderson and DeAndre Hopkins.
Hopkins comes
And
back
we're
because
gonna see-
Hollywood got
And
hurt.
the ghost
Hollywood got
of Hollywood, but he's hurt, like you said.
The ghost of Hollywood.
But DeAndre Hopkins is going to fix a lot of problems.
If they
He's
can
gonna
hold
fix
the
a lot of
fort down,
problems.
if they can hold the fort down, though, right? If they can
Can
hold
we-
the fort down until Hollywood comes back, that's a pretty decent.
Can we go back to the bad
Wide receiver
divisions in
core.
football really quick and talk about how shitty the NFC West is?
Yeah, yeah.
Shocking! It's shocking how
Yeah.
bad the NFC West is.
The Rams
Like,
suck.
I don't know what's wrong with the Rams.
I think it's the Rams.
Matthew Stafford
The
was
Rams
wrong
are
with the
supposed to be
Rams.
the cream of the crop over there, and they are
Yeah,
not
it's the
good.
Rams.
Took that bum off my fantasy team so
The
fast. Kept throwing
Seahawks.
push.
I don't know how the Seahawks are doing this.
Seahawks are the best team in the NFC West right now.
But that's because everyone else is bad.
Yeah, they're an average team, though. That's the thing. They're an average team. Like, they're not even like, when they're on, they can really put up a good fight and sneak a win and beat you. If they play
Seahawks are also
perfect.
frisky. They're my
Yeah, but
friends.
if their defense wasn't horrendous, they could easily be 5-1 right now. If the
Yeah,
defense
but-
wasn't so fucking bad.
That's the whole thing is they are bad, and that's what makes them an average team because it's like Geno Smith has to play like the best quarterback in football for them to win games. It's not even like they could just like Geno could have a bad game or like Zach Wilson game, like throw for 100 yards and they win. Like that's not something that happens. And for them, that's not something that happens. Like he has to be awesome, and that's
You
just how the
can't
team-
ask that defense to stand on their head.
Yeah.
that defense is going to bend and break all over the place
Yeah.
to do it. Where it's like the Jets defense, which is ranked 13 overall right now,
Mhm.
can hold you, can hold the best of these teams a couple times
Yeah.
to make sure the bleeding doesn't happen.
Arizona and Arizona plays down to their competition every time, all the time. I don't get it. Like I think this might be if you're going to see it, this might be the year that Cliff might be on the hot seat.
Oh,
Cliff might
Cliff's
be
been on
gone.
the hot seat.
I
They've
think
been
Cliff's
looking for an excuse
gone.
to fire him.
Yeah, I think Cliff might be gone this year. Honestly, especially after giving that huge contract to Kyler, and
They
then
don't make the
also like
postseason.
them doing that, they don't make the postseason. Cliff's gone.
If
Yeah,
there was a way for none of the NFC West to get into the postseason, I'd be like, aye. Like, this is like 10 years ago, the NFC West, when the Seahawks made the playoffs with a losing record.
Seahawks.
Wasn't that the year of the Beastquake?
Yes,
when Marshawn Lynch had
where
that?
they,
Yeah.
Yes, it was the Beastquake.
and I'm
I
sitting
honestly-
there, and I'm like, there's no way that this losing team just got into the fucking playoffs. That's how bad this division is.
7-9, baby, 7-9. My thing is, I think in the end, I think San Fran is still the best team in that division. I think they have just more stability across the board, coaching wise. I think they have the better coaches.
Their whole defensive line is just like beat up, though.
Yeah, they are beat up, but I mean, like you're starting to see Ayuk, kind of come on. You start seeing Kittle kind of resurface, and Jimmy
Thank God.
G. Yeah, Jimmy G is like it's like he's the quintessential like average quarterback. As much crap as people give Kirk Cousins, Jimmy G has been the poster boy for slow and steady, like maybe not do enough, but just do enough.
Just
Like,
game
so-
manage your way to NFC Championship game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
it's
he's
so-
done many a time.
so freaky. I say
You'll
it's
never win a Super Bowl, but you'll make it to the NFC Championship.
It's
Hey.
so freaky, man. Like
He
I
game
feel-
managed himself to a Super Bowl.
That is correct.
And he's one bad RPO pass away from winning it.
Sure is. Sure
Yep.
is.
Yep, and it's like it's crazy because I think about it, and I think it really set into me when they beat Green Bay in the playoffs. I'm just like, this San Francisco 49er team is they're just very well coached. It's like they just find ways to win games. They find ways to just like when you think the defense is terrible, the defense shows up. When you think the offense can't possibly just put points up on the board, they find a way to kick like 4 field goals in a game, win like 12-9, like 12-6.
Yo, shout out
Somebody
to
feels like-
D'Amico Ryans, the defensive
Yeah.
coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers, because he's more than likely going to be the next head coach of the Carolina Panthers.
That's dope though. Shout out to
He-
D'Amico Ryans.
He, I think, is the front runner of that job because that Carolina Panthers defense is fucking good. It just needs to be coached in the right direction.
Mhm.
They have a ton of talent, and D'Amico Ryans would be perfect for them.
Yeah, I think so too. So this is going to be interesting because everyone has to throw their name in the Sean Payton hat, and I think where we know where he's going. Definitely, as long as they don't win a championship, I don't care. I honestly really believe no matter if they go to the Super Bowl and lose it, if the Cowboys don't win a championship, Sean Payton's going to be the head coach of the Cowboys.
Do you want to
up there.
hear a name that I've been hearing floating around for Sean Payton? And it would make Anthony furious. The Chargers.
Really?
Oh, you know what?
Yep.
I did. You know when you
Wow.
mentioned Sean
That'd be
Payton, I was
interesting.
like, because I was like, damn, I read an article. What team did they say Sean Payton was trying to go to? And
Sean
yeah, it was,
Payton
interesting.
said apparently somebody around has
interesting.
been like, "Hey, Sean Payton's keeping a real close eye on that Chargers job."
yeah, and that's
That's
actually a real.
interesting.
That's actually a credible source too. Unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it.
Because
He's looking at Justin Herbert like, yes.
Justin Herbert's team now and Mike Williams, the talent that they have on that defense, like,
Austin Eckler? Oh yeah.
and
oh,
then
yeah.
he's gonna bring in the Sean Payton guys to come take some cheap deals to come
Yeah.
play and bring veteran leadership onto that team where they need in different aspects. That would be the worst thing for you, Anthony.
Yeah.
The worst thing.
Before
because
we
if I-
move on. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Finish your thought. Then.
Right, because if I'm the Raiders, that Texan team game should be like a win, but for some reason the Raiders like to play down to their competition. and just let stupid shit happen. If the Raiders lose 2 more times, I think it's happening.
You're not hearing shit from me about any guaranteed wins. I'm not doing that anymore.
If the Raiders lose 2 more games, I think it's time to become sellers and just suck.
No, Dylan, I'm not obsessed with the NFL draft like you. I'm not going that route, man. I'm just not going that route, man. If we jump out the gate 1-6, I still want us to be the best possible team we could be this season. I don't care about NFL drafts.
But here's the thing, Anthony, hear me out here.
Yeah.
You don't have your draft picks anyway.
No, they would. They have the draft pick this year.
Yeah, we have draft
pick. I thought they traded 2.
No, they have the draft pick this year.
No, we have the draft pick this year.
They have the draft pick this year.
So it's 2 future draft picks then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, good. I mean, good year to be terrible.
What happens if the Raiders finish with like 5 wins on the season? I'm not saying they are. What good does that do them winning those games?
I mean, we wouldn't really be winning games.
Exactly, but like those games take you out of the situation to kind of give you a reset, because you get to reset the quarterback clock. Because if your team just won 5 games after making the playoffs and you just paid your quarterback a ton of money,
but we can get out of that contract though.
That's what I'm saying. Get out of the contract.
Yeah, if we won
Jones, get out of that.
If we won 5 games, I would absolutely want Derek Carr gone.
But the likelihood of Derek Carr being gone, if you don't have the correct draft pick, go away. Because you want to be like Bryce Young is the best Alabama quarterback to come out of their school in the last like 6 years, and there's 3 starters in the NFL right now.
The likelihood of
the MVP race.
The likelihood of us getting Bryce Young is very slim, even at 5.
It's not because that number 1 or 2 pick.
No,
it would be in flux because there's a guy named Will Anderson coming out.
That's what I'm about to say. No, but it's going to be the 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's going to be a few teams with at less than 5.
But there's two quarterbacks in this draft that are really fucking good. Exactly.
Carolina's
going to be worse than us.
I think Houston.
Carolina is already on.
I think Houston likes Mills. Houston likes Mills.
Jacksonville has a quarterback.
Houston would give up Mills in a heartbeat.
Jacksonville's staying with
Jacksonville
likes
their quarterback.
Jacksonville's
the
staying
Bears
with
are staying with their quarterback. The Lions need a quarterback.
The Bears.
The
Bears.
The Bears will.
But do you want to know why the Bears may not? Because they didn't draft him.
Yes,
they didn't draft him.
The Bears should.
If they move on from Fields, that'd be the stupidest thing ever.
That'd be
so stupid.
It'd be so stupid. Wouldn't make no sense.
But here's the reasoning: the coach and the GM didn't draft him. They're not giving him any help. They're pretty much saying, "Hey, prove us wrong."
Correct.
Prove us wrong about this. We're going to give you shitty play calling. We're going to give you all this stuff. We're not going to give you weapons. We're going to expect you to do well. When you prove us wrong that you could play quarterback at an insanely high level with the lack of talent that you have, then we'll start flipping the script a little bit and start making the play calling a little bit more friendly, a little bit come to you. They're looking for a reason to get out because they
don't like lose situation is that?
Yeah,
but it's not. But here's the thing: it's not. But it's not
for Fields. It is.
For Fields, it is, but not for the organization.
Like you sit here and tell me right now that you think that Bryce is going to be better than Justin Fields. I can't tell that right now.
Maybe
he can be.
Maybe
you plug them into that situation.
You be willing to risk your future on that? Because I wouldn't be.
But listen, it wouldn't be unprecedented. It's definitely happened already
this
in the NFL
before.
multiple times. And so, like, for people who's been like just as bad as Justin Fields has been, they've been gone, right? Like Josh Rosen's like stats aren't that much different than Justin Fields' stats over the 2-year period.
You can watch Rosen, and you could tell he didn't have it. You could tell just by looking at him.
But we don't know that with Fields yet.
But I mean, like, you have the same situation.
He looks better than Rosen did.
Listen, but listen, you have the same situation. Kingsbury comes in, and he says, "I don't want this guy." Right? I don't care what you guys say. I don't care what you guys paid him. I don't want this guy. And people forget how much controversy there was leading up to that Arizona pick. and who it was going to be, because the talk was, we're not going to drop draw. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. And all of a sudden, Kyler's name comes off the card. And then Kingsbury is like, well, like, we always thought he was going to be him the whole time. And Josh Rosen's out for a second-round pick to Miami, and he's terrible. So don't be surprised that, you know, the power of people wanting to have the people that they want and draft their own people, you know, like, I mean, listen, the Jets had it too, man. Like, not to bring up Jets again, but we got lambasted for trading Sam Darnold. Hey, Sam Darnold, you set him up to fail. He's a great quarterback. Watch, he goes to Carolina. We did, but watch him go to Carolina, and he's just going to just light it up, right? In the first few games, people are like, see, we told you. And then
McCaffrey gets hurt, and the real Sam Darnold came to
Sam
play.
Darnold, and now everybody's like, wow, that was one of the steals. Another Joe Douglas steal, right? And the Carolina Panthers are stuck with the check now. They're paying him $20 million to rot on the bench. And now he's injured, so now you have basically anything. At least you could have brought him in now. You can't even bring him in now. He's injured, and Baker's injured.
They were waiting to bench Baker for Sam Darnold. And then Baker gets hurt. Like, well, now we got to play fucking PJ Walker.
Right. So let's think about it this way. It's definitely not. I don't think they should do that to Fields.
I don't want that for Fields.
Definitely not out the realm of possibility. So now you have the Bears as a dark horse. I think the Lions pull the trigger if they're in the top two.
Yeah.
Saints.
I think Carolina pulls the trigger.
The Saints don't have their pick.
The Saints.
Oh, they don't have their pick.
Philly has their pick.
Philly has their pick, and
Philly's going to be a Super Bowl contender and have a top 10 pick.
Yeah, Philly's going to sell that pick for another 2 down the road. That's definitely guaranteed. And also,
what about the Dolphins?
The Dolphins.
The Dolphins are going to try to trade for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, they'll do that.
They're going to try to trade.
They'll do that before they will actually choose one of those young quarterbacks. And don't be surprised if Sean Payton jumps in that Miami. I know McDaniels, whatever, but I don't think he's going to do that. It's only 1 year. I think that's not good precedent. But regardless, I will say this: Houston is certainly going to pull the trigger. Certainly going to pull the trigger if they have a top 2 pick.
Houston,
Indy's another team. Washington is another team.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Washington. I forgot about Washington.
Washington can spiral out of control. Seattle, if it really gets down, will definitely pull the trigger.
Seattle would do it even if Geno's playing well. Because
Geno hasn't written back, so Seattle's good. 49ers? No. 49ers,
no, they won't do it.
They got Trey.
They won't do it, even though they probably should. I don't see much of trade, but they won't do it.
The Cardinals should too, but that's not.
The Cardinals will not do it.
They just pay.
I know they wouldn't.
The whole NFC South, really.
And then there's the dark horses, right? Like I mentioned one of the dark horses is going to be possibly the Bears. Also, certainly, possibly could be. It's something that people aren't really looking at, and I completely think that they will do it, which is the Green Bay Packers. If they're not good, mark my words, if the Green Bay Packers are not good by the bye week, they will try their best to move Aaron Rodgers, and they will try to find anyone. And don't be surprised. I know that they don't like trading within the division, but if you're the New York Giants, and you have a chance, and you're sitting there 6-1, 7-2 at the bye week, and you say to yourself, hey, this might be our chance to accelerate that. We have an offensive-minded coach. You don't think that they'd be willing to offload, Danny Dimes' large contract, offload Kadarius Toney's contract, because who's going to pay for Aaron Rodgers and that enormous contract? Who can even afford to do that? They'll throw in maybe they'll throw in a first-round pick. But guess what? I think the Giants might play their hand and knock on the door and say, hey, we'll give you these guys.
Go on a 2-year run.
And we'll see what happens with that. So a lot can change in the next 4 to 5 weeks. I think the draft will shape up. We'll be surprised how many people are trying to get those 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, it would just be very tough for because again, even teams that may not even finish in the top 3, I can see a team at number 9 pulling off some crazy trade. 2 future first-round picks, second round, conditional third to move into that top 2 spot. They do it all the time.
Here's the thing: before we go into NBA, that's a real possibility. The Raiders haven't had to do a real reset in a while because you guys have either been in purgatory or finally make the playoffs. A real reset, it may be like the thing because you also have an organization that has 0 of their guys in there as well. It goes back to the Bears. Organizations want to bring in their guys. McDaniel wants to bring in his guys. Whoever your GM's name is wants to bring in his guys and bring in their culture and establish their culture. And the only way you can do that is when you don't have a guy who's been in the league for like 10 years making a ton of money on the books. You bring in a rookie quarterback who's going to do exactly what you say. Like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got you, sir. I will throw this ball here, sir. Get a young man.
That dude in New England.
Yeah, good luck.
My only thing with that, Dylan, is the Raiders did just spend a lot of money on that defense, though. So I don't know if they want to go into
Max Crosby and Chandler Jones. You could dump Chandler Jones' contract. Max
you could
Crosby,
dump Chandler Jones. But I'm just saying, it looks like they were starting to invest in that defense. So I don't know if they want to do
I don't know. I wouldn't say that. They
rebuild.
invested in one guy. Outside of
They
Max
still
Crosby, and they invested in one guy. Their money is elsewhere. The money is at Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller. Their offensive line's shit, and they're letting their really good running back go to be a free agent.
Well, go Titans.
The funny thing about my bad. Yeah.
No,
get your last thought in before.
No, I was just gonna say something about this. I was just gonna say if the Titans never drafted Malik Willis, I could see them trying to make a play for Bryce Young.
I still think the Titans, if they end up in that situation, should still draft Bryce Young and CJ Stroud with that, whether they have Malik Willis or not.
I mean,
Malik Willis
he's hard times to be in that situation.
I mean, you're not Mike. You have 3 wins. Like, it's not like it's too far out of the realm of possibility. Anything can happen. I'm not saying you guys are going to, but anything can happen. But
to your point, for us to be in a situation to draft him, it would completely have to fall apart.
I mean, your team isn't great, so like all things can happen.
Dylan, for us to be a top 5 team in the draft, it would have to completely fall apart. We'd have to win.
Your team
maybe
isn't
2
great,
more
so
games.
Like these things can happen. Mike, I'm not saying it's going to, but it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Barring injuries, it's completely outside.
I mean, your team is already like slaughtered with injuries, so the only other injury that could possibly happen is if your bad quarterback gets hurt and you have to play the young kid that's pretty good.
We're not going to be in the price. We're not going to be in that stage.
I'm not saying, but if you're in that situation, you draft Stroud or Young.
These are problems I don't have to worry about.
He said, "I don't want to be."
These are problems you wish you had because Tannehill stinks.
He said, "Don't bother me with this."
Still better than your quarterback.
My quarterback's in his second year is in a winning team.
Still better than your team.
You're not. Like numbers literally say false things.
Still better than your team.
That's not true. How you know what your offense is ranked, Michael?
So
not top 10.
Anthony, because I can't ask them to because they're biased. If the Titans and Jets were playing this week, you would pick the Jets?
No.
And why not?
Because the Titans are better, and we all know this.
Why not?
We all know
his answer is going to be Derrick Henry, and I will say C last year.
With a worse team, a significantly
worse team.
A significantly worse.
C last year. What that team did to the Titans. Now that this team is a better team. This is the number 8 ranked offense in football and the 13th ranked defense in football versus the number 15 ranked offense in football and the 26th ranked defense in football. The defense that allows 370 passing yards a game. The defense that allows over 118 yards rushing a game.
They don't pass the eye test. You don't believe it. Because if you did,
Anthony, who's better, the Titans or the Packers?
You would stand on your conviction and say that your team's going to the playoffs right now.
Anthony, who's better, the Titans?
You know, I won't say that because it's a small sample size.
Exactly. But I'm going to sit here and tell you, my team.
Mike, the reason why you're going to say that is because the rest of your division sucks. So you
My
can
team-
walk into the playoffs.
My team's going to the playoffs. I know
have
that.
3 other teams in my division who are winning football games. Like, what are we doing here? The worst team in my division has the same record as the first place team in your division. If the Jets were in your division, we would be in first place. But just so happens we have the best team in the AFC in our division.
To
And
be
we're
fair,
The best team in football. The best team.
to
in
be
football.
fair, you can make an argument that outside of Buffalo, the Colts are better than every team in the AFC.
The Colts?
Yeah,
That's
Right now.
crazy.
No, that's
That's
not true.
crazy.
no, you can make that argument.
That's
How?
crazy.
How?
The
But
Colts
based
are
on
the
what?
Colts are better. The Colts are
But
better
based
than
on
the Dolphins.
what?
The Colts are better than the
not better than
Dolphins
the
No,
right
they're
now.
not. What?
Right now, yes, they are.
Well, they're not.
What? The Dolphins team that's playing the.
I said right now, currently, right now.
With Tua
This
coming
Dolphin-
back this week?
No, not with Tua coming back. I'm talking about this Dolphins team
right
right
now.
now.
Tua's
Yes.
coming back this week, right now.
Well, here's the thing. Even with Tua coming back, we still don't know how he's going to do his first game.
That's true.
We don't know. So I'm saying right now, this Colts team is better.
That Colts team is losing football games to teams they should beat.
No, they won the last 2 games.
What's
They
the
beat the
record?
Chiefs.
What's the record?
3-2-1.
Yeah, the Colts aren't gonna beat.
They
that
should have
Patriots
beaten the
team, though.
Texans. The Colts are not better than that Patriots team, no. And
I mean,
that team is not good.
Like talent wise,
You still saying the
talent-wise-
Patriots aren't good?
no.
The Patriots are not good, but
talent-wise-
Patriots are better than every team in that division besides the Titans.
like talent wise, the Patriots are not as talented as the Colts, but I think the way that they're coached, I think they're a better coached team. I think I'm more confident that Belichick will coach circles around right than I will that the Colts will just completely dominate the Patriots outright. But I think that game's a coin flip.
Frank
the
Reich's
talent
an
will come
idiot.
through.
Frank Reich is stupid. Frank Reich is a stupid coach and has coached them out of a ton of games. And that Colts offensive line stinks.
I also think that the Jets and Colts can also be a toss-up game. I don't think that they're dominating the Jets like that. I think it's a toss-up. So while I won't say that you can make a valid argument that they're at least like maybe equal, but like better than outright.
No.
No way.
No, and Anthony, let's go back really quick. Why do you think the Titans would beat the Jets?
Just honestly, for me, I think, and this is just my opinion, I still think the Titans are a better coached team than the Jets. I like their run game. I don't think their passing game is as horrid as you try to make it out to be, Dylan.
It's not.
Who, the Titans? I never said the passing game stinks. I
Yeah, yes, you
said
have.
Tannehill stinks.
Dylan, come on now.
You
You
lack of talent at wide receiver and Tannehill not being great.
Dylan, you said
isn't a great
Treylon Burks
recipe.
sucks.
Treylon Burks
That-
does suck. And go look at his numbers before he got hurt. They suck.
Robert Woods is not that bad.
I've
been
never
playing-
said he is. I've never said anything bad about Robert Woods. Never. But go name me the other wide receiver on that team.
What was that?
Go name me the other wide receiver on that team.
No, they're not that great.
Go and name me the other wide receiver on that team.
I can't.
You can't exactly. I'm not gonna shit on the Titans offense because they're a very well-oiled machine in what they do. They run the ball and they play action. They make the game easy. That's what they literally do. Game manage football. You do that style of football with quarterbacks who aren't great. Like that's the Shanahan offense. Shanahan's been doing that for decades. Like that's just how it goes, right? And this is not a knock. Like
No, but
that
my
offense is a quarterback from the offense.
but my only thing is why is Ryan Tannehill stink, but Jimmy Garoppolo's average? Like I don't get that. Like they're two of the same people to me.
Jimmy Garoppolo stinks too.
He stinks.
He stinks too.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
I
average quarterbacks aren't good quarterbacks. They're just average. Like that's the midline, mid. And if you're not, like, if you're 15, like that's you're mid. Like it is what it is.
So listen to what you're saying. Tannehill's an average quarterback.
Tannehill's an average quarterback.
We both know that he's better than Zach Wilson. So what does that make Zach Wilson?
Zach Wilson is in his second year trying
No.
to figure it out.
No.
Zach
What
Wilson's
is
also
he
an
right-
average quarterback.
What is he right now?
Zach
then?
Wilson's an average quarterback right now. Zach Wilson hasn't lost a football game this year. Zach Wilson has led a fourth quarter drive with a perfect QBR in
Ryan
Heinz
Tannehill
Field.
has also led a fourth quarter comeback this year.
Ryan
He didn't have
Tannehill has
a
also been in
perfect
the league for
quarterback
10
rating,
years.
but
He's
he
also been in
led
the
a fourth-
league for 10 years, Mike.
What does that have to do with this year, Dylan?
He's been in the league for like 10 years. He is a veteran quarterback. Zach Wilson's in his second year playing his third game. Relax.
What does that mean, Dylan?
let the
Josh
cookie
Allen
bake.
is in his fourth year, and he is miles better than Tannehill.
That cookie has baked. That cookie's baked. Zach's still cooking. Do you remember Josh Allen his second year?
He was making
Josh Allen
playoffs.
his second year was still a dodo bird. Josh Allen his second year in that playoff game against Houston was running backwards 25 yards, taking his team out of field goal range to lose to that Texas team they had no business losing to. Josh Allen in his second year was still throwing crazy interceptions when he had Cole Beasley and Stephon Diggs on his team. He was learning. And then the next year, he took a massive leap. Let the cookie bake. So I'm saying Zach Wilson is an average quarterback. Let him figure it out. We'll see. This is, again, he hasn't lost since he's played. He's had a solid game against Pittsburgh, and neither quarterback was completing shit in Green Bay. Let him figure it out. But with that being said, when you can win games, when you're only completing 10 passes and hitting the quarterback, 10 times?
Like Ryan Tannehill seems to do, but you don't want to give him credit for it.
Ryan Tannehill hits the quarterback 10 times?
No.
Here's the
He
thing.
only
The Jets
completes-
defense
he only
is
completes
worlds
a few
better than the
passes.
Titans defense. Worlds better than the Titans defense.
Yet our defensive line will dominate your offensive line.
Oh, you want to take a look at the defensive lines the Jets have played that are better than the Titans defensive lines?
We're just gonna go. We're going. So
Because
why
the
don't
Titans,
you sit
right
here?
now, before we go, let me get
no,
one more thing off my chest. One more thing off my
better
chest.
than the Titans.
The Jets are better.
But the Jets may not get over 7 or 8 wins, and the Titans are going to make the playoffs.
You have
That
6 guaranteed
math
wins on your
does
schedule,
not
Mike.
add
You
up,
have
Dylan.
6
That
guaranteed wins on your
math does
schedule.
not add up. The math's not mathing. If you sit here and tell me the Jets are going to win 10 games and they're better than the Titans, I'm going to go, all right, that's how you feel. That's how you feel. But if
Mike,
you tell me an 8-win team is better than a 10-win team, I'm going to tell you you're crazy.
how do you think you guys have a 10-win
does
team?
not add up. We only play our division 6 times. We have to play other people. We're playing the NFC East
And
this
guess
year.
what?
We
And
already
guess
have.
what?
We're already 1-1 against the NFC East that Raj just said.
And you're not
might be
beating the
best team in
Cowboys, and you're not
football.
beating the Eagles.
We will see. We will see.
We will
Can't
see.
Can't wait. I can't wait.
We
to play
will
the Cowboys.
see.
I can't wait to play the Cowboys.
That's like the
Mike,
end of the
name
year.
me one player on your
I
guys'
can't
defensive line
wait.
better than Rashawn Gary.
Can't wait.
Zero,
Can't wait.
thanks. Mike, name me one single player on your defensive line better than Cam Hayward.
Simmons is better than him.
Yeah, Simmons is actually better than Hayward.
Simmons
and
is
he's
better than him.
That's
Don't
crazy.
play.
That's
Don't
crazy.
play
That's
my
crazy.
guys like that. Don't play
That's
my
crazy.
guys like
That's
that.
crazy.
No, Dylan,
That's
Dylan,
crazy.
Dylan, wait,
No,
wait, wait,
no,
wait,
no,
wait,
no,
wait,
no,
wait,
no,
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 no.
I can't have this conversation. I can't have this conversation.
He trying to go Tennessee.
All you want to do is sit there and tell me my team can't play. But we keep finding
Jeffrey
ways to win
Simmons.
these games.
Jeffrey Simmons is good, but he's not better than Cam Hayward,
No.
and
Jeffrey Simmons is
he's not better
good.
than Trey Hendrickson.
No, Jeffrey Simmons. No, he's not. But that's different. That's different.
He's not better
No,
than
he
Trey
is-
Hendrickson.
He's not better than Trey Hendrickson. Jeffrey Simmons is not better than Trey Hendrickson, but they both play 2 different positions. And Jeffrey
I
Simmons.
said the
to be
defensive
fair,
line. I said the
Jeffrey-
defensive line.
Jeffrey. Oh, then that's the case. And I mean, Jeffrey Simmons is not good. He's great. Actually,
Jeffrey Simmons
I
is
think I
really,
saw-
really good.
I saw a stat on him. I think he was like top 5 in like pressure or hit.
Mhm.
It was like a crazy stat. It was like him, Quinnen, Aaron Donald, and I think like
Just
someone
because
else. It was like
he
Simmons
doesn't go out and
nasty.
pound his chest and make all these stupid
He's
signals
nasty.
when he
Mike,
goes out and
Mike,
dominates.
I'm
Doesn't
trying
mean he's
to-
not
Simmons
good
is
in
nasty.
Tennessee.
But you have
isn't
one
on
good
national
player on your
TV.
defensive line. We have a whole unit. We have a whole unit, and you guys have a bad offensive line. That's the
Again,
difference.
we
That's
also
the
have
difference.
As you hate to say, that because they don't mean anything, but we have a top 3 safety in the league. in our secondary.
You still allow 375 passing yards a game.
Let the cookie bake. Let it bake.
There's no
Let it
baking
bake.
on a veteran defense. There's no cookie
Let it
baking on a veteran defense.
Like I said,
There's
we
no
will
cookie
see.
baking on a veteran
We will
defense.
We will see.
That's what you gotta say when you have a defense filled with guys whose average age is 25.
To the end of the season, when the Jets have 7 or 8 wins and have a great year, the Titans are a 4 or 5 seed in the AFC, and you're going to sit here and say, "Well, we're better than them."
But they're a 4 or 5 seed by default. That's the difference, by default, because there has to be a division winner.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? The NFC West is going to have a team with a losing record in their fucking playoffs as the 4 or 5 seed by default.
Mm-hmm.
So, by that logic, go ahead. Enjoy your playoff seeding. But again, you play in the shittiest conference, in the shittiest division in the conference. Keep going into the special needs classes and beating up those kids. But again, you play who's improved, so good on you.
Well, we will definitely circle back on this. We're going to do our fantasy focus later tonight. Because, like I said, the sports world is packed. We got a special guest, and we got to switch. I know I wishing James the best. He had a family issue. I know he's been waiting for this night all season, but he'll be back next week, and he can have all his basketball takes, which there will probably be plenty of. But it is NBA tip-off tonight, so we got a special guest. And I mean, come on, if you follow this show, you know who we're going to go to for our NBA talk. My man, Brandon, a.k.a. B. Rich, is in the building tonight for an NBA kickoff. What's going on, man?
What's going on?
Coming to bring some hot takes. We're going to discuss the season. We're going to make our NBA Finals picks and MVP picks. Anthony, we did promise to give you an update at the time of this recording. The Celtics and the Sixers kicked off the season with the Celtics promptly packing the Sixers up and getting them up out of here.
I heard Harden went off, though.
Harden had a good game,
yes,
but Harden did some very Harden things.
But he got outplayed, though, so it doesn't matter.
He very much got outplayed, but he did make Jason Tatum touch earth.
He did.
I'll take 35.
I heard he crossed him bad.
He did, but he missed the jump shot.
He missed the shot. So
me and Mike are sitting here. It never happened. Didn't count.
Me and Mike are sitting here watching it. We're both like, "Oh, does it count?"
You missed the jump. It doesn't count.
It still has to count.
For halftime, where he crossed homeboy up, and then he did the shimmy shake, and then promptly brick backboard. So I was like, "All right, well, James Harden's back."
For sure.
So right now, as we're watching this, as we're recording this, the Lakers and the Warriors are actually playing a good game. The Lakers
of basketball.
Yeah, the Lakers actually don't look bad.
Is Davis playing?
Yes, Anthony Davis is playing.
Davis is playing, and he looks fine. Actually, he looks.
It's early. It's early in the season.
It's early.
20 games in, we have a different take on the Lakers.
Anthony Davis right now 6 for 9, 14 points, 4 rebounds.
And
There's not a lot of else going on.
But we all know he's an all-star when he plays. Just when he plays,
he got 2 steals and a block.
Yeah.
The
problem is street clothes.
When he plays.
Problem is he is street clothes.
Right.
He play the Grizzlies tomorrow, right?
Yes, the Knicks play the Grizzlies.
That's a tough game to open up with.
That's a tough.
I know. Jesus, they really opened it up. I know.
That's a tough game to open up with.
It's a tough first game.
You're getting a pissed off Ja to start the season.
But hey,
that's a motivated Ja to start the season.
Only play who's in front of you. Patrick Beverley's doing that thing where he's yelling and screaming when he fouled someone.
You know what I can't wait for?
He fouled someone.
Is to watch Pat Beverley's podcast during the Lakers season, that's going to be unbelievable. The type of shit he's going to be talking.
That's delusional, man.
I love it. I need it. I need that type
Hey,
of
Dylan,
shit in my veins.
Dude, I wouldn't be breathing easy if I were you. Y'all got a hard game tomorrow.
No, we got
y'all
New Orleans. We got New
the
Orleans.
y'all got them Pelicans. Woo, them
Who's
boys
the,
is looking
the
tough.
Nets?
Yeah.
The Nets,
Nets,
Yeah,
yeah.
we got
Pelicans, yeah.
fucking Thanos is making his return, and we'll see how that goes. So that's gonna be a fun game to open up with. Hopefully, Steve Nash gets outcoached to shit, and we have to fire him.
Sorry, you really want that? You really
I
want
was
that?
really surprised they kept him. I was really surprised.
Hate that man. I was
He's
not
the worst
surprised.
coach in the NBA for sure. He's the
I wouldn't
I
say that,
wouldn't
but he's
say
terrible.
that,
He's terrible.
but
I
he's
wouldn't
pretty
say that.
awful.
He's bad. He's definitely not a great coach, and he's definitely not a good coach. And he definitely his talent, the talent that he has on his team, definitely saved him a ton.
for sure.
But no, he's not a good coach. He needs to be fired.
For sure.
If Ime would have gotten fired, Steve Nash would have been fired. And I stand by that. Me and Stephen A have the same take here, and that's usually not the case. Where me and Stephen A are usually completely opposite of the spectrum. If Ime would have gotten fired, Steve Nash would have been fired.
I just want to point out that I definitely just saw Russell Westbrook rock the baby, which is hilarious.
Which is hilarious because Anthony was rooting for a team that had a guy that was rocking the baby after hitting a home run, a useless home run in a game that they ended up losing.
And Russ promptly commits a stupid foul. So yeah, mid-season form. Do we want to go through the off season? Do we want to just go through our picks and start yelling at each other about our picks?
Let's go into the picks because the
let's get
offseason had
into
a
the
lot
picks.
that happened, and we already kind of touched base on that
All right.
a couple shows ago. So let's get into picks.
We'll let our guests go first. So, Brandon, give me your NBA Finals matchup winner and who you got for MVP for the regular season. Your regular season MVP.
All right, regular season. I'm going Jason Tatum. I'm gonna go Boston versus. I'm gonna do a repeat. Boston versus Warriors. I got Boston taking it this time.
Oh, redemption.
Yeah.
Okay.
Redemption story like no other.
That if that happens, that would be
Crazy.
very interesting.
Jason
that'd be
Tatum, dark
wild.
horse for MVP. Jason Tatum was the guy I said after the finals last year. I was like, don't be surprised if Jason Tatum's like runner-up in MVP next year or wins it.
Yeah.
So that's a good one.
I just want to say the last time I was up here, you was talking a lot of shit about the Celtics. And
But here's the thing. When you
get my thought out, you was talking a lot of shit about the Celtics, and you were saying we're gonna win a championship. And boy, did the tables turn because we swept y'all. And I'm happy to hear it.
Well, here's the thing. When you came on, the Celtics were fucking terrible.
Nah, yeah, for sure.
They were terrible.
Guys,
Yeah, they were fucking terrible. And then they decided to let Ime coach.
right.
They were too busy the first half of the season last year being like, nah, we're going to do it this way. And Ime's like, fine, I'll let y'all do your thing. But just know when it comes time and you guys are fucking up and you guys are fighting, I'm going to step in and we're going to do it my way. And that's exactly what happened. And I gave the Celtics all the credit in the world last season. Right.
They only got better. They only got better.
They only got better.
Brogdon, they got Blake.
But losing Ime sucks. Losing Ime
definitely
sucks.
sucks,
And
for
he was
sure.
a massive reason for it.
Wait, did
Like,
Gallinari get injured?
he tore his ACL.
Yes.
Yeah, he tore his ACL. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gallinari towards ACL, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
So, once we got to the first round of playoffs last year, I was telling Mike, I was like, if Boston beats us, then they're gonna go to the NBA Finals. And I was the only person here saying that. I was like, I was the only person here who picked Boston to beat Milwaukee. I was the only person here to pick Boston to beat Miami. I think it was me and one other person. And then once we got to Golden State, I was like,
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was being honest with myself. I'm like, yeah, I don't see us beating Golden State. That's tough. Golden State's tough.
So I'll eat my L on the Celtics take, but it's a new season.
New season.
And, I can't wait for this. Anthony, who we got? Who's winning the MVP? I have a funny suspicion who you're gonna pick for MVP, but who's?
I know
going to
exactly
the
who's going to pick for
finals?
MVP, but I hope he stands on his little soapbox, screaming what he was screaming last year at this time.
I'm gonna start with my finals picks. I have the Bucks and the Clippers in the finals.
Oh, what? Hold on,
Uh,
before you go, what happened to the Knicks and the Warriors are on a collision course for the NBA Finals?
That's next season.
No, you said that last season.
What? No, that's
You said next season, last season.
When does Chris come back?
What was that?
Chris come back? Is Chris back yet? Middleton.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, he's back. Yeah,
it wasn't a major injury. Like he's back.
yeah. I have the Bucks winning that in a Game 7 in Los Angeles. So I have them winning the championship. I say MVP this year. You know what? I'm going to say MVP this year is Devin Booker.
Oh, so you've changed your stance on that too.
Yes, I did. Yes.
So for those wondering, he was saying James Harden was going to be MVP.
Yes, he was killing us with this James Harden revenge tour. James Harden revenge tour.
He's still going to go on a revenge tour, but I think Devin Booker is going to win MVP this year.
That's crazy.
That window is closed. So
That's Windows.
I don't think so. I don't think so, man.
That one is
Man,
absolutely
fools,
close.
He does.
the West got healthy again. It's over. They can't beat anybody.
Yeah. And in order to win MVP, Devin Booker's going to have to carry that team like significantly. And DeAndre Ayton and Monty Williams hate each other, so they're going to be having.
You have to average like 30 and 6.
I think $133 million. I think
He don't want to be
money
there.
ain't good
He
money,
don't want to
yeah.
be there.
130 M's.
All money ain't good money, man.
That 130 M's is pretty good money to me.
Hey man, well,
Okay, give me 130 million.
I
I'll take all
appreciate
this problem.
being different.
Just,
I appreciate you being different.
Ross, who you got?
Roz, where we at, bro?
This is tough. MVP. I'm gonna have to stick with the Greek Freak. I think he wins it again. I think he's just gonna. I think Middleton's gonna be back. I think they're gonna make another run again, deep into the playoffs. I think they actually beat that Boston team this time with Middleton back.
They got better. Milwaukee got better.
Yeah, Milwaukee got better. I think.
Adding Joe Ingles is huge.
Yeah.
Adding Joe Ingles to
Sniper.
that team is huge.
The 3-point line. Joe do enough D, but he's definitely there for the three. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and say, barring any type of like crazy trade, I am gonna go with Milwaukee, going out of the East, and I think I'm going to say this is tough. I think I'm gonna actually say I think I might go Clippers out the West.
What? You let that come out of your mouth?
I know. That's
Oh, no.
exciting. That's exciting.
I think I'll
You
say
gotta be
Clippers out the
healthy for 30
West.
games, man. Before I
I
say
think-
anything about the Clippers.
I think Kawhi comes back, and I think he makes his presence felt this year. I think
Kawhi
that
and
team.
George.
I think that team, the fact that they got as far as they did without either one of them, speaks a lot of volumes. And they have some young guys there that can hoop.
Very well
That
coached team.
also very well coached team, and they actually got some experience. And now
Yeah.
Kawhi doesn't have to be on the team and feel like, oh, I gotta drag these young guys. These young guys are like, we've been waiting for you to come through. Like, you know what I'm
They
saying?
have
Like,
no size and they have nobody to rebound the ball, though, man. I can't watch it.
I mean,
Zubac.
Zubac is pretty decent. They also got the
Zubac
other
is
guy
fine.
that was there too.
Zubac is fine
That
against
was
who? Against
There
what
was another
team?
guy.
Who in
There's
the
another
West
guy
is
that
going to
was
be
there.
out there killing boards
There's another guy.
Name
New
a team.
Orleans.
Name a team in the West without a big.
without a big?
A contender.
That's working anything.
A
That's
contender.
working anything.
Memphis is going to be tough.
Memphis is going to be tough.
Memphis will be tough. Denver will be tough.
Phoenix.
Pelicans will be tough.
Phoenix. Well, the Pelicans don't really have a real big. They have Valanciunas. He's not great.
And then,
Why
and,
is
all right,
that?
look,
Zion,
Who's gonna keep Zion off the
Zion
board?
gets rebound.
Who keeps Zion off the
Zion
board?
is- Yeah, Zion.
Huh?
they cannot rebound with any team on the West. The
Clippers?
cannot rebound with any team. Yeah,
We'll
they
see.
cannot.
We haven't played yet. We don't know how it looks.
Okay.
But to
Roster
be fair,
construction, I think they'll be fine.
yeah. But to be fair, I
Because you don't
think-
got to get rebounds when you make jumpers.
I think a healthy Kawhi goes a long way. So I'm going to say Clippers. I'm going to have to stand by it as much as it hurts me. I'm going to say Clippers. I think their talent finally pushes through. And I think between Milwaukee and the Clippers, I think the Clippers come. I think the Clippers win it this year, actually. They have to win it this year. I think they have to win it this year.
I don't know, man. That's tough.
Yeah. I think if the Clippers come out and against the Milwaukee, I think that's an awesome finals. But I think the Clippers take that. As much as it pains me, I think the Clippers actually come out with
I
West.
think the Clippers match up perfect with the Warriors.
Perfect with the Warriors. I think they. Yes, that's actually going to be, I think, your Western Conference Finals. Is for me, I think it's going to be the Warriors.
Kawhi gets his revenge on Zaza Pachulia's the ghost of Zaza Pachulia.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think you get Boston and Milwaukee. I think you get them as well. I think that's the Eastern Conference Finals, and I think you get Clippers and Warriors with Giannis also being the MVP this year, and then Clippers win it. That's what I'm picking. Something different.
I like that pick. I just don't like the Clippers, man. I don't know. I can't see it. If you
don't like the Clippers, if you don't like the Clippers, imagine how I feel about them. Yeah, man.
All right, Dylan.
Breaks my heart.
I don't think there's any shocker where we think I'm going here.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going with the little brother NBA Finals. I'm going Nets Clippers.
Oh man,
Nets Clippers.
Kevin Durant MVP.
No, Kevin Durant's not my MVP. Kevin Durant's not going to play fucking 60 games, so he can't win MVP. If he plays 65 games, then maybe we'll see. But my MVP is Ja Morant.
Oh, man, that's a good pick.
You say you leave? You don't think Ja's good enough to be MVP?
It's not that I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's the MVP. I just don't.
Yeah, there's just better. There's just better players.
Devin Booker.
I feel like all the good players are healthy. And all the good players are healthy. Everybody's healthy right now, so I don't see.
Well, it's also like tip off. It just happened. Yeah. There's an 82 game season.
You're absolutely correct.
The injuries gonna start piling up. Trust me.
The injuries will pile up. There's a reason. Like Jokic 2 years ago, won MVP and he had a really good season, but he literally only won because 6 other people got injured.
Right.
So there's a world where Ja wins MVP, and I think Ja's gonna be playing very much so motivated after losing to that Warriors team, because if he didn't get hurt, that Warriors team may not be the champions right now.
Okay.
Hey,
that's correct.
Yeah, but I don't like if this play would have got hurt. That a lot of times when it comes to those deep playoff runs, it boils down to who's the healthiest team.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah,
of course. The Warriors' first 2 playoff runs where they won the titles, they ran into every injured point guard you can think of. They dodged every injured point guard on their way to 2 titles straight. So it is what it is. But Ja has a legitimate he's got this chip on his shoulder, and I think he could really elevate to that level, because he was almost there last year. He was playing a really high level last year, but. I know the Celtics fans gonna be like, "Oh, Jason Tatum, he's gonna be there too." It wouldn't surprise me if Jason Tatum won. He was my dark horse. I think he's gonna be the guy who takes that massive step after taking a huge career-defining L, where he also didn't play great. I think he bounces back. I think he's got that good mentality to do so. But there's also Joel Embiid. I think Joel Embiid can finally get it.
Oh Lord!
I think he can finally get it, but I think Ja will be my answer.
So funny you mentioned that, Dylan. So my MVP for this season will be Joel Embiid, with Luka calling up a close second. But I think
the only reason I don't pick Luka is because Luka has to play 45 games before he gets himself into shape.
Yeah.
But did you see him though? Luka looks like he's in shape.
What, when he was playing overseas? Good. Yeah, he looked like he for the first time.
His body and everything. He looked like he lost weight and everything.
No, yeah, because he also spent most of his time playing for the national team this year, as opposed to taking a break. He's been playing.
He might be all right. He might be
good, but we could also be wrong. We'll never know.
You're absolutely
Yeah,
correct.
I have Embiid for MVP. This finals pick is also very difficult because I feel like the Warriors should get back, and
I think there's more hurdles in the way of the West right now, where it's like it's
I
hard
do
to
too.
hit a back to back. Well, everybody's healthy. You said it too. Everybody's healthy in the West, so there's gonna be more hurdles. Like I think whoever plays Denver, it's a easy win because they just don't play defense.
I'm about to say Denver is not any concern.
Denver's gonna be is the turnstile where it's like, all right, like just run
I
through
feel
that.
like the
keep
Pelicans
moving.
gonna shock somebody again. Pelicans might beat somebody.
I would love. I really wish
shit
I
out
had
the
the.
Trailblazers
I had
will be
the
in the playoffs
courage.
this year.
No,
I wish I had the courage to. Maybe.
The Trailblazers
What?
will be in the playoffs this year because you got to take the Jazz out. The
Yeah.
Jazz are out of the
Jazz are
playoffs this
out.
year, so you got to put a team in. And
But I mean, it could be the Lakers. I think the Timberwolves don't make it this year
It
either.
could be the Lakers.
I don't see
No,
the
the
Timberwolves.
You think the Timberwolves make the
I'm
playoffs?
sketchy.
No,
I'm
listen,
sketchy.
the Timberwolves making the
sketchy.
playoffs?
I'm sketchy on Minnesota. I'm sketchy.
I think it got worse. Defensively, I think they got worse.
I hate Gobert more than everybody, but I don't know about
I
that.
don't know
it's not
about
even
that.
Gobert. It's about Karl Anthony Towns can't play the 4 in the NBA right now. He can't guard anybody.
I think he can play the 4 perfectly in the
I mean,
NBA
I think
right
he
now.
can guard it better than Gobert can.
Defense, yeah, for sure. But
I
defensively,
think offensively he's going to be a problem.
yeah, but
as a
not
4.
offensively. I feel like
But-
defensively he got worse. The Timberwolves got worse for sure.
Well, so the regular season, their defense is going to be fine because they're just going to be playing the college style defense that they're playing in Utah, where they just funnel to Gobert. Right. The problem is now you have 2 7-footers who can do that. If they could win games defensively off of the back of Gobert the way Utah won, while Karl Anthony Towns offensively gets to take like this really cool step, abusing small 4s. Like there could be this world where they're like a top 5 seed, but then get walked in the fucking playoffs because they can't play their 2 most expensive players on their team at the court at the same time.
I don't have the courage to pick the Pelicans to go to the finals, even though I really want to.
I would love to see that happen.
I really want to pick.
I
the
actually
Pelicans
don't want to
because
see that happen at all.
I would love to see that happen.
I want to see the Clippers.
I would love to see
really
it happen
high on
because
this
the
Pelicans
chaos
team.
that would have to happen for it to like be there.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things there's quite a bit of things that would
I
have to happen.
live
don't-
for chaos.
We're talking.
I don't think a lot has to happen for the Pelicans to make the finals.
You don't
I
think
the
so?
I
Well,
think the
Zion's got to
Pelicans
stay healthy.
are a lot better than everybody's giving them credit for.
Yes,
Brandon
I think
Ingram
that'd be
is
great.
very, very good.
Very good.
And don't underestimate CJ McCollum having a full season with these dudes.
I'm not on the CJ. I'm not on the CJ.
Yeah, I'm not on the
I'm
CJ
not-
bandwagon. He disappeared.
CJ's going to be good.
He'll be good in the regular season, then he'll
If
score
Zion-
40 points once.
He'll have like a good game and a half, then disappear.
He'll score 45, say he's got it from the mud, and then he'll score 8 points.
How many times has Damian Lillard witnessed that shit? Like only
Damian
now.
Lillard hates him so much. He won't say anything out loud.
I'll tell you, if Zion plays 60 to 65 games, the Pelicans are going to be a tough.
That's a big if.
That's a
That's
tough
a
out.
big if.
They're a tough out.
They're a tough out.
Especially if they do the thing where they make Zion the point guard. Oh, that's such a fucking scary thing. I love it. I love 300-pound point guard Zion. Now let me see 240-pound point guard Zion. That shit's crazy.
I like how everyone's so like optimistic about their teams. I just love it. I absolutely love it.
But all that
Thank
being
you.
It was
said,
2 weeks
all
more
that
than we're
being
ripping our
said,
fucking hairs out. Fucking hair
I
out.
know. All that being
Give
said,
me till next Tuesday where I'm calling for Steve Nash's head.
next week's show should be fun. Next week's show should be really fun.
I'm just gonna have a picket sign right here with Steve Nash's head on a fucking
Fire
stake.
Steve.
Trade for Ime. That's what we want. Trade for Ime. Take this first round pick. Give us your coach who's dating in the organization.
I'm gonna go Warriors versus. I got it. I think we're gonna get Warriors Nets. I really think we're gonna get.
Let's go. Let's go.
I I'm really high on Ben Simmons. I'm really
Why?
high on him
Why?
Because he's playing basketball.
because
That's
everyone
that's
has
the
this
determining-
idea.
That's
Everyone
the
has this
determining one.
idea that
Ben
he's a
Simmons?
bum, and I don't know why y'all all think that this man is a bum. This
He's
man
not a
is
bum.
not a
He's not
bum.
great.
'Cause he
He's
can't
not
shoot.
great though.
This man
he's
is
an
a top
all-pro.
5
He's-
defender in this league.
He's an all NBA defender and, one of the
And now
best
all
facilitators in
Brooklyn is going to
basketball.
tell him to do is go play defense.
They're not
I'm-
asking
I'm
him to
sa-
score. They're asking him to play Draymond Green's role.
And he's
All right,
better
so
than Draymond.
my thing is, all right, hold on. My thing is, right? How did they lose last year?
Size.
They lost the size, or
Size,
they lost because
They
Oh,
lost.
they
They
couldn't
lost
score the ball.
because they lost because Jason Tatum packed them the fuck up. That's why they lost.
they lost.
So let's get into the nitty gritty here because I have to explain things all over again, right? So we lost because Steve Nash is an idiot and didn't make the proper adjustments. The Nets' total loss differential was 16 points for the whole series. We lost by 16 points in the series. You know how many free throws that Nick Claxton missed?
Okay.
17 free throws. So if Nick Claxton makes his free throws, we have a different
series.
series.
That's
One.
terrible.
Yeah,
That's not. That's no. That's
That's
not. That's
if we made all our free throws, we would have won by 35.
no.
points.
That's not. But I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm not done. The real reason we lost is because we had a bunch of 6'3" guys guarding guys who are 6'10" and killing us on fucking screens. That's why you bring in guys like Royce O'Neal and Ben Simmons, because every time you touched, you didn't even have to set an actual screen, which is, I've been yelling at this about Mike for over a year and a half, that my most hated thing in basketball is the automatic switch. The automatic switch. Why are we doing this? Why are you like the second guy just runs by you, you're switching immediately?
Right.
Like, this bullshit. It's the stupidest thing. Let's just constantly let Seth Curry guard Jason Tatum one-on-one and watch him get fried every possession. Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? It's the dumbest thing of all time. Stop switching. Fucking play defense, right? That's why we lost. We had a bunch of midgets guarding guys who could just make shots over chairs. And you guys played great team defense. Kevin Durant didn't play great. Kyrie Irving didn't play great. But, like, the games weren't blowouts.
I meant like your offensive scheme. This is what I meant.
The offensive scheme was just give the ball to Kevin Durant and hope.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's why we lost. Yeah,
I think that's gonna change.
Yeah, because Steve Nash will be fired halfway through the season.
Okay, if he gets
I
fired,
don't think Steve Nash
It's like the
should be
fifth time you
fired
called for his head on this podcast.
I'm speaking it into existence. Steve Nash will be fired halfway through the season.
This is the sixth time you called for his head on the pod.
You know what? Let's just get to Steve Nash will be fired halfway through the season. Steve Nash will be fired halfway through the season. Steve Nash will be fired halfway through the season. Steve Nash will be fired halfway through the season. Like, I don't know how much clearer I need to be about these things. I was calling for Steve Nash's head after game 2 of the first round. Like, once I said, why isn't Blake Griffin playing basketball? I was freaking out. And then guess what? They finally let Blake Griffin play 3 minutes, and he brought so much energy and gave everybody a hard time and started making shots. But, Steve Nash is reactive and not proactive and doesn't know how to do things correctly. Right. And again, talent bails things out. Ben Simmons not playing last year, whether he was healthy or not, he ended up getting back surgery. It is what it is. Ben Simmons coming in without playing basketball all year would not have done anything. It would have made Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown's life a little bit harder, but at the end of the day, it wouldn't have done anything. Ben Simmons getting a whole season to play basketball and trying to stay healthy and getting back into the, hey, I'm going to play defense a lot is going to be awesome, because there's also nobody in the NBA who generates more three-point jump shots, open three-point jump shots, than Ben Simmons. And that's a fact. And having him as a rebounder who could immediately push the pace in fast breaks, which with James Harden, we didn't have that, because when he grabbed rebounds, he slowed it down. He wasn't fully healthy. He was a fat slob. So he literally grabbed rebounds, slowed it down, didn't push. And Kyrie Irving and him just couldn't work because Kyrie was trying to run. And James was like, nah, we're not. So hopefully they get more people involved. Like, I like what I saw in the preseason of Royce O'Neal swapping out with Joe Harris and Kyrie Irving getting these shots. I like watching Ben Simmons not fucking auto switch. The fact that he wasn't switching automatically in preseason and crashing defensive boards and blitzing guys off screens in the preseason was like, okay, cool. This is the energy I'm going to get all year. I'll be fine. Like, these are the things I like to see. He's going to be playing a role where he's not asked to score and he just gets to be Draymond Green, where We all wanted Ben Simmons to be LeBron James because of his skill set and what he can do, but he's a mental midget. He's not going to be that. He could excel as a Draymond Green, though.
Yeah, but that means there would have to be player movement. There's no player movement on your team, bro.
Well, that's what was in the playoffs, where a bunch of guys who didn't get the chance to play with each other at all, they had lineups in the playoff series against you where they didn't play more than 3 games together.
Okay. I agree.
And that shit, you need continuity. You need
player
that
movement
shit.
To pass the ball and cut. You do not
You
need
need-
continuity to cut to the basket.
You need to know where guys like the ball. That
To
is a
cut?
fact.
to cut.
To cut?
No, you do not.
Do you think a 6'1" Patty Mills cutting to the basket is going to make a difference when Time Lord's right there?
All right, maybe he doesn't have, maybe 6'1" Patty Mills doesn't have to cut. To
Or
the basket.
6'3" Seth Curry? You think that's going to make a difference?
Maybe they don't have to cut to the basket, but they can
Time
come for
Lord.
screens.
But like, what? But like, here's the
Or
thing.
for
This
screens.
is
They don't have to cut.
again. I'm not
That's-
banking. I'm banking on the offense not being give the ball to Kevin Durant and just watch,
Yeah, we'll
because
see. Steve
that
Nash.
happened. The whole regular season, that wasn't how it was. Like, that really wasn't how it was. I watched every Nets game. The only reason it turned into that was because they just relied on Kevin Durant when he came back, and they just had to figure it out. Kyrie Irving played 20 games. These guys didn't play well, and then we had $50 million on the bench, just sitting there, not playing, in Joe Harris and Ben Simmons. So hopefully a year of getting to know each other and playing together works, and hopefully something at the trade deadline happens where Nick Claxton gets to fucking leave. Because I hate that fucking guy.
I need Nick Claxton.
No, we
I
don't.
need it.
Get him out.
For what? What you better hope
Go
you
get me Mo Bamba or fucking Miles Turner.
All right, Mouse, maybe Mouse, but Mo Bamba is crazy.
Mo Bamba can shoot.
He can shoot, but he's not better. He's not a better fit than Claxton is.
Have you watched Nick Claxton play a lot of basketball or just the
Yes,
playoffs?
I have.
Because Nick Claxton is
watched a lot of
easily
basketball.
my most hated. No, like a lot of Nets basketball.
Yeah,
Nick Claxton is my most hated player on that team because some days he's unbelievable, where he just is running the floor and being a great rim runner and he could switch, and it's really good to have him. And
Right.
there's other games where he just tries to do too much and he is a liability.
yeah.
I don't
but
need the liability. And he's also undersized. He's 6'9". In the perfect world, I ship Nick Claxton and either Joe Harris or Seth Curry to Indiana for Miles Turner. Because
Miles Turner.
Indiana's just been trying to trade Miles Turner forever, but just doesn't want to trade Miles Turner, which is crazy. But
Yeah, I like Miles Turner, but I don't really like Mo Bamba. That's not a good
Mo
pick.
Bamba, because I know we can get him for less.
Mm.
But Miles Turner ideally would be who I'd want, and you can make money work.
I want Miles Turner on Lakers.
They put Miles Turner on the trade block every year, and then when they get trade offers, they're like, "Nah, we don't want to trade Miles Turner."
He's like in the weird position where he's really good, but he just not.
He wants to get traded. They want to trade him. He wants to do more. They're like, "No, you're not doing more. You're just going to do this, and we're going to pay you money to just do this and lose." And here's Tyrese Halliburton. Have fun.
Yeah.
Save Miles Turner. Send him to Brooklyn, and fire Steve Nash.
You
Oh
don't
my
even need
God.
him as much as we do.
But I
we
do
do.
not. I don't have the Nets winning though. I have the Warriors going back to that.
That's fine. I would enjoy Nets playoff finals appearance. I would enjoy that very much.
We will
I just want
get
one of my
Joneses.
teams to do something.
Now, who's gonna be who's everyone's sleeper pick?
For MVP?
Team-wise.
Team wise. For the championship or just like
Just in general. Just in general.
Because the Eastern Conference is like all good, except for like
Right.
3 teams. So it's hard for any of those teams to be a sleeper unless it was like Charlotte making the playoffs.
But I'm gonna give you a sleeper. I think the Hawks are gonna finish with a top 3 record.
Please.
No,
all right.
but
All right.
I don't even think
That
they're top
team is
five.
that team is built for the regular season. That team is tailor made for the regular season.
Well, you said top 3. The East stay
Top
healthy.
3
That's
seed. Exactly. Is that not the
That means they'd
definition
have-
of a
That means they'd have
surprise?
to have a better record than Milwaukee, Boston, Philly, New York, Brooklyn,
They're
and
gonna have
Miami.
they're gonna have a better record than two of those teams. The
Yeah,
Hawks.
The
are
only way
gonna
that
win
happens
four-
if there's injuries.
That would still make them 4
The Hawks.
because we just named 5 teams. That would still make them 4. If it was 2, they would have to have better.
They had a better
records.
record than three of those teams,
There's three
Yeah.
of those teams then.
and they're not
The
better than
Hawks
three
are-
of those teams.
The Hawks are gonna win 54 games.
The problem is the top 5 teams in the East are probably all going to win like 55, 56 games.
Exactly.
Fine, I'll take 55.
I don't think the Hawks are better than the Cavs. I don't think the Hawks are better than the Cavs.
I also don't think the Hawks are better than the Cavs.
No, I don't think so either.
I didn't say they were better than any of those teams. I said they're gonna have a.
I don't think
great
they have a better
season.
record than the Cavs.
That's what I was getting at. I don't think they
I
have a
don't.
better record.
I think it's gonna take Cleveland a minute to get it going.
I don't
Why?
think so. Defense.
They already
had it
going.
Drag them.
They already
before
had
they
it
get
going.
anything.
They're just gonna add
Nah.
more offense.
Yeah, they just added more firepower. To be honest, I don't
Like
think
the
it's
thing
gonna
that's
take
going to
them.
get them, like
It might take them a couple
You
games,
just jump
but-
on the court and do, and they have 3 guys on that team that will just play defense and just spark the transition, and then get those guys where they need to be. Like
I'm high. I'm really
Later.
high on Cleveland. That's
I
my
like
sleeper
Cleveland.
team.
I'm very
That's-
high on Cleveland.
Jared Allen and
That's
Evan
my-
Mobley are going to carry that team
And
defensively and get them. Like when Jared Allen got hurt last year, Cleveland lost everything.
Darius Garland gonna
Yeah,
ball the
I
fuck
thought
out.
they were gonna win in the first round until he got hurt.
Darius,
Right.
No,
like,
not
that's-
no. They were gonna get out of the play-in. I thought they were getting out of the play-in.
They should have. They should have.
Yeah, they should never have been in the plan. If
They
if
should.
he
They
didn't
were
get hurt,
number
they was
4.
never in the
They were
plan.
number 4.
Yeah, if he didn't get hurt, they was never in the plan. They was number 4, and then they added Donovan Mitchell, and you're telling me that the Hawks are gonna get better? Nah, I don't know, man.
And they
I don't
still
know.
kept a lot of those guys too on that team. They
Exactly.
still got Karis LeVert. They still got Garland. Evan Mobley. Is Ricky Rubio still on that team? Or
Yeah.
no, they added Rondo. No, Rondo's a free agent now. So yeah,
No, it's Ricky
Rubio's still
Rubio,
on that
Ricky
team.
Rubio and Kevin Love. Ricky Rubio and Kevin Love.
They'll be fine.
Yeah.
I don't think that Hawks team is better. That Hawks team's not as deep as that Cleveland team can go. That second unit in Cleveland is a better starting 5 than what they have in Sacramento.
You ain't right for that.
So like that Cleveland team is good, but I don't really know for a dark horse. I had to pick a team in the West to like be a dark horse because the whole Eastern Conference
or
besides
just
like
a surprise. Like, what's your surprise for this season? I just told you, mine. I
Denver.
think Atlanta's
Denver
gonna,
would be a
I think
surprise
Atlanta's
for
going to
me.
have a very good
You
regular
said
season.
Denver?
Denver,
would
how
be
is that a
to
surprise?
me.
Denver is
I think that'd be a
expected.
surprise. No, I think Denver
What
would be
is-
a surprise if they were somehow get to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, that would be a surprise.
I
If
think
they
that
got
would
there,
be a
that'd be a
surprise.
surprise.
because
Yeah, but
they
they're not
play
getting there.
hard, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Man. You know, like that. I mean, I know everybody gives the bubble all its stuff, whatever, and stuff like that. But the only reason why everyone was kind of excited about that Denver team is because of what they did in the bubble.
Yeah,
They didn't get a chance to build on that, so it's like
Yeah.
you got to play devil's advocate on that. Like, hey, do we believe in this Denver team and that they can make some noise because of what they did, or are we just dismissing the bubble all in
well,
general?
no, I don't
You know,
dismiss
like-
the bubble.
I think
It's just
people
that he
just-
doesn't play defense.
I think people just forgot that Jamal Murray can ball. Like
Nah,
he's
yeah.
a fucking
Denver's
suck.
Because
going to go as far as Jamal Murray takes them.
Jamal
Yeah.
Murray, Michael Porter Jr. are 2 guys from that's going to be awesome for them offensively. Defensively, they're all just cones.
I say they got to get rid of him. Yeah, but nobody.
But I think-
was hurt. But they got to get rid
I
of him.
said,
Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah.
He got to go.
I like Michael Porter
Yeah.
Jr. He's the athletic wing that would be their best defender, but he's not a great defender.
I can see a world that the Nuggets make the Western Conference Finals.
I don't see
I
a
can-
world where they do
I
that.
can
That
see
would-
that.
yeah, but that'd
But
be
I feel like they're
surprised.
fool's gold. Like
I'd
I
be
don't.
surprised.
I
They
don't
are
even take
fool's
them
gold.
serious.
They're like Utah to me. They're the
Yeah,
opposite
exactly.
of Utah.
Exactly.
No, we can't.
They're,
you
they're
can't
Utah
say
but
that.
flipped.
Yes.
Utah, where they're supposed to be this really good defensive team, but once they get to the playoffs, Rudy Gobert gets exposed and you can't play him. Where Denver's this really good offensive team, but then they don't rebound or play defense, so they kind of like can't keep up with what's in front of them. Because Jokic is like the most unathletic basketball player I've seen since Larry Bird.
So, like, are we saying like surprise, like playoff team, or just
No,
like,
just like
surprise
other-
in general?
Well, in general.
Surprise regular
In
season.
general, because
I mean-
Denver would be a surprise if they made it that far, but like the
I think
surprise would be.
OKC.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I think OKC actually competing
They
for a
tank
playoff spot would be a
They
surprise.
already made it clear that they're going to tank again.
That's what I'm saying.
How many more picks do you need, man?
But that's
You know
what I'm
what's saying?
saying.
They're trying to get the
You gotta get
7'4" kid.
Victor. Go get Victor
Yeah.
Wembanyama. That kid is nasty.
Because
Yeah.
Oh,
boy
that's
got
7
hurt.
foot two.
Boy got hurt. I forgot his name. He got hurt.
Chet Holmgren.
Yeah,
They-
but Houston,
Yeah.
Houston is the one that said they're going to be tanking crazy hard, like literally.
I don't
to
see
get
why.
Wembanyama.
So is Utah.
I don't think
Utah's
so.
gonna be tanking too.
Utah's
Yeah.
definitely tanking.
This is
Yeah.
gonna be the nastiest tank fest I've seen since
Yeah,
Zion.
they have to change the
That
league.
that kid looks unreal. His
That kid
athleticism
is
is
7'4". He's a 7'4" Kevin Durant with better ball handling.
Yeah,
This is like size
That's
22 as
what's
well.
crazy.
I know.
He hit 7 threes.
He went
It's
70%. He went 7 for 10
threes.
from 3.
7 threes. I couldn't believe it.
And my buddy was like, "Oh, but he doesn't
read.
rebound." I was like,
Who cares?
He's 110
Who
pounds.
cares?
He's hit 7 threes and he's 7'4". And
He's like
he ball
Giannis'
handles
size,
like a fucking
weight-wise.
6'4" kid. What are we doing here?
Yeah, his weight is not different than Giannis when he came in the league, so you can't complain about.
They're going to be able to
weight.
trot out. If OKC were to get Victor Wembanyama, they'd be able to trot out a lineup with Victor, Chet, and fucking Poku. 7 foot, 7 foot, 7 foot.
Yeah, Shai Gilgeous.
Yeah, the one.
Like, that's
Shai
crazy.
Yeah.
And then they have what's the kid's name from Australia who's like almost 6 foot?
Oh,
like,
Josh
7?
Giddey, who's like
Josh
6'8".
Giddey.
He's like
Yeah.
6
Like, that's
6'7".
crazy.
That's
He has
what
a triple
I've been
double.
screaming from the hilltops and for
Crazy.
last year. Like, that's what the NBA is going to be. It's going to be a bunch of guys where everybody's 6'10" and just crazy athletic. That's what Toronto was trying to do last year. That's what Cleveland was doing for a while last year. That's what OKC is going to be doing. The Magic are going to be able to trot out a lineup where 4 guys are 6'10". Like, that's wild. Like, that's what the NBA is going to be. Just a bunch of guys who are 6'10" and can play great defense, super athletic, and shoot. Can't wait. That's my surprise. That we're gonna see the first team come out and do all a lineup of 6'10" guys. It'll be Orlando. Or you know what? Make Orlando my surprise. Orlando is gonna be my team that is gonna be in the play-in. Orlando will be
Orlando's
in the
going to
Oh,
make the play-in?
hell no. Hell
in
no.
the play-in.
Let's put
Oh,
that down.
hell.
Orlando will beat the Knicks in the play-in.
The Knicks aren't making the
Oh,
playoffs.
see?
Now that I would love to bet. I would love to make that
The
bet.
Knicks aren't making the playoffs to me. I don't think they make the playoffs.
Raj, you sound crazy.
I don't think the Knicks make the playoffs.
The Knicks will not. The Knicks. The only way the Knicks have a path to the playoffs is through the play-in. That's the
Wow.
only way they have a path to me.
I have no clue.
There's 10 other teams that are better than them.
That's not true.
Oh God, here we go again. Yes,
Raj,
really
Raj,
Raj,
yeah,
am I stamping that, Raj, that the Knicks are not going to make the playoffs? Like the play-in, nothing.
I would make that bet too.
But, I mean,
I would.
where you count the play-in as the playoffs?
The play-in isn't the playoffs.
Yes.
No, the plan is not
Yes,
the
it
playoffs.
is.
The play-in is not the playoffs.
No, the plan is not the playoffs.
How's the
It's
play-in the
not.
playoffs?
That's why it's called the play-in.
Yes.
You play in
How's
to
that?
get to the playoffs.
No, how far low does the bar go when it comes to the Knicks? Counting the play-in as the playoffs. We'll get
The Knicks are absolutely making the playoffs.
So the Knicks aren't better than
No,
Boston.
Anthony,
The Knicks aren't
I'm
better
not
than
taking you
Brooklyn.
seriously.
The Knicks
I'm
aren't
not
better
taking
than
you seriously.
Milwaukee. The Knicks aren't better than Philly.
No,
The Knicks
I'm
aren't better
not-
than Miami. The
Why
Knicks
are you
aren't better than
entertaining
Atlanta.
him?
The Knicks
Why are you
aren't better than
entertaining him?
Cleveland. The Knicks are the Knicks aren't
Not
better than
entertaining,
Toronto.
Anthony.
The Knicks aren't better than
Knicks are better
Chicago.
than Toronto.
They might be better than
Knicks are better
Toronto.
than Toronto.
We're
If
better
they-
than
here's the thing,
Toronto,
that's
man.
one team. 10
I'm
of
not
these.
entertaining Anthony.
And they
I'm
might
not
be better
entertaining.
than Chicago,
The
depending.
Knicks are not better than Chicago.
LeBron.
Whoa.
I'm not. Whoa, I missed that. Obviously, I'm not watching.
Oh,
that.
no, but Lonzo's not playing, so.
Yeah,
Exactly.
man.
Lonzo's not-
Chicago's
Lonzo's
better
not
than
playing.
them.
Lonzo's not playing, man.
Lonzo's
You guys
not
are
playing.
going off
The
of the
Knicks are
year
better
where you
than them.
guys literally just shat the bed, and you getting Jalen Brunson is supposed to fix everything.
No,
and
Derrick Rose
Isaiah
is coming back as
Hartenstein.
well. Derrick Rose coming back.
I like Derrick
Derrick Rose
Rose.
is the reason-
Yeah, and that's another thing that people don't talk about. We were without Derrick Rose for almost the whole year.
And I watched
And-
Julius Randle
and
flame out.
Julius Randle played extremely inconsistent, and we still
That's who
were-
Julius Randle is, Anthony.
No,
after
That's
1
how-
year. After 1 year,
No.
He's been that his whole career, Anthony.
I have no faith in Julius Randle.
Julius Randle has never been that guy. The biggest
Never.
mistake the Knicks did was give him his money off of one season.
Right. I agree.
And then it just showed that that's a terrible contract because he sucked last year.
Terrible. Guys' money didn't
And
want
guess
to play
what?
no more.
He's going to do the same thing this year. And guess what? You have 3 left-handed guys who can't go right.
Nah, RJ Barrett takes a leap. That's my sleeper right there. RJ Barrett.
That's
takes
not a
leap.
sleeper. That's expected, and he better take a leap. When we
No,
say a
Obi-
leap, what's
Obi
the
takes
leap?
the biggest leap.
Mike,
Obi
what
takes the biggest
Obi? I think Obi takes a bigger leap than RJ
leap.
does.
Obi needs to start. If they
But
don't
what
start Obi,
what
you gotta
stats
give
are we
it a
expecting out of RJ?
I
20.
want him to get 26, 5,
26 a
and 3.
game.
That's a little little
That's
much
elite.
because he averaged he
If
averaged 20
RJ
last year.
jumps to 26.
Going to-
the Knicks
from
are
20
gonna
to
get
Hold on.
66.
You're saying the last 40 games, what did he average though? He averaged like 20, 27, 25 or
25,
something
about
like that.
25, 26. Yeah.
If RJ averages 26 a game,
It's not
then
crazy.
you guys will be a playoff.
Because Brunson's going to get a lot of
But we're
shots.
going to be a playoff team. But I'm looking for RJ to be about 20, somewhere between 22 and 25.
You think?
If the-
No,
if
like
the
I'm
Knicks
saying, the
wanna
Knicks will be
win
like
anything-
a 6 seed.
It-
If the
Be
Knicks
out of the
want to win
play-in.
anything, RJ has to be the guy. If the Knicks want to win
But
anything.
Julius Randle
Yeah.
won't allow that. That's the thing. Julius Randle won't allow that.
Yeah, he
No,
won't.
I'm
But
good.
it's not about that.
And I think the role RJ would excel in the most is primary ball handler, but you went and spent a bunch of money with Jalen Brunson, so that kind of takes the ball out of RJ's hands a lot.
That's why I think 22 to 25 is
But if you
Well, I
do 22
have
to
him.
25, that's exactly what he was doing last year.
no, it's better than he was doing
No,
last year.
it'll be better. It'll be better.
But it's how he finished, and
Yeah,
like
but
he
exactly,
has to
the
do
first
22
30
and
games
25.
don't count.
If he has to do 22
But Dylan,
25,
that's
he better
22
be
to
shooting.
25.
He better be shooting like 38% from 3.
That's 22 to 25 when you add another 25 point a game score.
That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys.
And if Randall gives me 20, that is enough right there. That's 60 points.
Yeah, and then Rose stays.
Everybody else does what they need to do.
And then Evan Fournier.
He could, yeah.
No, I'm not saying he's averaging 25, but I'm saying if he's healthy, he wasn't
I'm
even
sorry,
playing
is
last
it
year.
fucking 2009? You
I
were
didn't
thinking
say-
Derrick Rose gonna average 25?
I know.
No,
of course, I
no,
never said
what?
that.
Brunson.
That's like-
Brunson's also not gonna
Brunson.
average 25.
How so?
Brunson has to average 18. 18. That's what you need him. 18.
Brunson can give us easy 19 a game.
That's your expectation. That's what he should give you. He can't give you
Randall can also give us 20 a game.
Randall's giving you 20 a game with his contract.
23.
That's dog shit.
23. He needs to give you like 23, 24. Jalen 25.
I don't care how the Knicks do it, Dylan. Brunson, Randall, and RJ give me 65 points a game. The Knicks are going to make the playoffs comfortably.
Well, you'd have to
I
be the
don't know
6th
if
seed.
it-
The
I
only
don't
way you
see
make
them
the
giving
playoffs
65.
comfortably is if you are the 6th seed.
Comfortably.
If RJ averages 26 on like 40 plus percent from the field and 38 from 3, I will agree with you. If he's averaging 26 and he's shooting like 38 from the field and he's shooting like 32 from 3 again, then I'm going to be like, okay, no, this is not a leap. This is exactly what you gave me. It's just he's
Right.
taking more shots.
More shots.
And
So
we're
your
gonna see, 'cause
expectation for
I don't
RJ
know.
should be like 38% from 3.
I believe your boy is going to be starting this year, too.
Oh,
Tyler Hero. I believe he's going to be starting this year.
that would be terrible. That
Can't
would be
wait.
absolutely terrible if he did.
Can't wait.
I think that window is closed too.
Yeah, Tyler Hero's window's done.
Oh, it's done now. It's done
Well,
now.
no. So last year, Tyler Hero was better than
because
RJ
you was
Barrett.
jumping down my throat. He
No,
was
that was
not.
Roz, by the way.
He
It was
was
Roz, by
not.
the way. Don't hold me accountable for what Roz was saying. But I think RJ Barrett has a
No,
higher
no,
ceiling.
no. And to be fair, when I said it, he was.
He was. He absolutely was. And last
When
year
I
he
said it,
was.
And when
The
I said he
difference
was.
is-
RJ Barrett
the
last
difference
year.
is
He
I
was
think
not
RJ
better than
Barrett-
RJ Barrett last year.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, he was. That's fine.
When I
That's
said
fine.
it-
Was
My
not
numbers
better
don't-
than RJ Barrett last year.
numbers
Numbers
don't-
don't lie. He was not better than
No.
RJ Barrett last year.
When I
Because he averaged
said
more
that
points?
statement, when I When I said that statement, he was absolutely better than RJ Barrett at that point. And I proved it with stats. He was absolutely better than RJ Barrett when I said that statement. And I provided the data to prove it. Now, at the end of the year, if he got better, he made the leap, and Hero wasn't getting played as much as he probably should have. But still, when I said that statement, he was most definitely better than RJ Barrett at that point. Now, I think RJ makes a huge jump. I think Obi makes a huge jump. Those guys got to start. I think Julius has to play much better than he
off
did.
the bench. Like, how does Obi has to start?
Obi will be 6th man. No, Obi can't start.
There's
Obi will be
nowhere
6th
for
man.
him to start.
Obi will be the first man off the bench. And
I
he'll
mean,
give
honestly,
you like
if it was
15,
me,
18 a
if
game.
it was me, I would probably, and I don't care how he feels, I would
Jules
probably
doesn't
need
see the floor.
Julius. Yeah, I think Julius needs to run the team on the 6 because I think he runs the second team much better than Obi was because he becomes a lot more ball dominant when he's on the court for him to be effective. And the second team isn't going to have someone as good as Julius Randle on the floor rather than having Obi Toppin. Obi's just going to play like he's always playing. He needs someone to help facilitate for him. He's going to take his shots, and he's going to call it a day. But if you want the person probably in the best position to be put on the second squad and not necessarily be like, you know what I'm saying, to lead the bench mob, it's actually Julius Randle out of the two because Julius will be more ball dominant. He'll be able to bang down there. And if you're telling me that you're going to find a better player probably overall in the second unit against all these other teams against Julius Randle at the 4, I'd tell you probably have a hard time finding that. I think Julius at the backup 4 is better than a lot of people's backup 4s. But I don't run the Knicks, right? They've done very well by themselves so far. They've done great, right? So, I mean, have Obi come off the bench, have somebody like Derrick Rose who's not going to actually facilitate that well, and he's going to be looking for alley-oops. He's going to be just rotting in the corner trying to get a 3, and then we're going to talk about how somehow Obi at the end of the season again, when he gets starting minutes, is putting up starter 4 minutes, starter 4 numbers, and we're like, what's happening? He's going to waste his athleticism. He's going to waste his talents. He's never going to grow. He's not going to be the 6th man of the year on the Knicks. The
I
kid
think he
needs
can.
to start.
I think he can.
I don't think he can.
I see
think
the
he
world
can.
where the first person
I
on
don't
the
think
Knicks
he
you
can.
sub out is Julius.
But here's the thing: is like he has to play within. So Brunson basically has to play 40-something minutes a night all the time. So
No.
we're gonna have to run Brunson
No.
into the ground in order for him to help facilitate.
But that's what
for
Tibbs
Obi
likes to
Toppin
do
set him
anyway.
up.
So,
Obi's not going to set up his own
I
shot.
don't
Obi's
see
not
it. I
gonna
don't
set up
see
his
him
own
playing
shot.
40 minutes though.
but that's
I
what
don't
Tibbs
see it.
likes to
Exactly.
do. Tibbs likes to play his guys 40 minutes a night.
Exactly. The only way that Obi's going to be able to reach his potential is if Brunson plays 40 minutes a game.
No, you could give
He's not gonna
you
reach
could
his
give
potential
Obi
that
his
way.
20, 25 minutes. Like I said, make Julius Randle the first guy off into the court. Put Obi in with that unit that has RJ
I don't know about that.
and Homeboy and Brunson, and then you swap them all out together. Give Derrick Rose and Julius Randle those guys. Let Julius Randle run that team while those guys rest. You could stagger the minutes to make it work.
I mean, it makes
Definitely
sense.
stagger
I don't
the
see
minutes.
Tibbs. I don't think Tibbs doing that.
Stagger
I
the
don't think
minutes.
Tibbs
That's
doing
what you
that.
have to do.
I don't think
You
Tibbs is gonna do that.
absolutely
Tibbs ain't gonna do
cannot
that.
bring Julius Randle off the bench. You
No, I'm not saying
absolutely
no.
can't.
I'm not saying bring off the bench. I'm saying start.
No,
He
I'm
has
saying
to
to Rob,
start.
you
I'm
absolutely
saying
cannot bring Julius Randle off the
Exactly, and
bench.
that's
For the
why.
exact same reason you
and
cannot
that's
bring Russell
why
Westbrook
the
off the
Knicks-
bench.
No, you could absolutely
If
bring
you-
Russell Westbrook
You
off the bench.
definitely can bring
cannot,
Russell
you
Westbrook off the bench.
cannot,
You absolutely
you
can.
cannot bring Russell
Absolutely.
Westbrook off the
Absolutely.
bench. It
Absolutely.
makes
If you could
no
bring Ginobili
sense.
off the bench, you
You
could
could
bring
s-
Russell Westbrook off the bench.
Everyone is not Ginobili.
But he's a ball dominant guard. How can a ball dominant guard function on a 5 with LeBron James
You
and Anthony
stagger,
Davis?
just like we just said, you stagger his minutes and you let Russ run with the second unit. But you cannot bring him off the bench. You cannot.
Why?
He's-
Because some ego
because
thing.
these
It's an ego
players,
thing.
drives,
It's the same
everything
thing.
plays together. Everything
Then guess what?
functions. Happy
Then
players
guess what?
play better.
Then guess
You
what? Then guess
cannot
what?
do that to that.
For
You
the
cannot
same
do.
reason-
Julius
And-
Randle flipped off the crowd at Madison
and-
Square Garden.
Exactly.
Nobody gives a
And-
single fuck
well,
about Julius
exactly.
Randle's feelings.
And it does not make any sense because you're not going to be able to look at Russell Westbrook in the eye and tell him you have to come off the bench so Patrick Beverly can start, or you have
I
to come off the
absolutely
bench
would have no problem doing
so
that.
Kendrick Nunn can start. That
So wait. So,
in
wait, so
what
it's okay.
world are either one of them
So
better
wait,
than
so wait,
Russell
so wait.
Westbrook?
So
But
wait,
Mike, I
neither
feel like you
one
care
of
too
them.
much about the label of starter.
Time out. But we can sit here.
Neither
we can sit
one of
here-
them is
No.
better than Russ. Neither
on,
one
hold
of
on.
them.
Hold on. So we can sit here and not say a peep at the fact that we had the Oklahoma City Thunder starting Thabo Cephalosha over James Harden, and no one said a peep. We thought it was just masterclass, and they went ahead
James
and went to
Harden
the
plays
finals.
absolutely no defense.
No.
That's
Time out.
Yeah.
James
Facts.
Harden is
Number
James Harden back then was light years better than Thabo Sefolosha. Defense or no defense. There is
He was
no
better offensively.
universe.
He was
There's
better
no
offensively.
universe.
And a better
There's no
facilitator.
universe. There's no universe where Thabo Sefolosha should have been starting over James Harden back then. And guess what? It worked. Why? Because James Harden won Sixth Man of the Year that year, and he went on and got one of the biggest contracts. And people were like, "No way, James Harden wasn't that good." And they were calling Brooks a freaking genius for doing that. They were calling Brooks a genius for doing that. No one said a peep. But again, right, it doesn't make sense because the only people that actually are going to reap the benefits of those things like that are the coaches who have not only the balls to do it, but the foresight to see and say, listen, man, if you're really about the team, you're really about winning basketball games, you'll come off the bench because you'll be able to not only win Sixth Man of the Year, you'll also be able to get the numbers that you want. You can go get your contract somewhere else.
Or
you can get your
you
contract
can do
somewhere
that,
else.
or you can do
Also
that
young.
when James Harden is in his second year in the league
Yeah.
and he doesn't have the tenure that a Russell Westbrook has. Like,
What has
you're
Julius
not-
Randle accomplished?
He
What has
Julius Randle accomplished?
$100 million.
What has Obi Toppin accomplished? That
$100
he
million.
has to sit down
That's
behind
the accomplishment.
Obi Toppin. Like, what are we saying here?
So wait. So
Like-
now the money.
Yes, the money
Yes.
plays a difference.
So
Yes,
wait,
the
yes,
money
yes,
plays
right,
a
but see-
part.
That's the difference between the great coaches and the average coaches is that you play the best players at the position to make them succeed.
Tell
It
me
is
a
not
player right now that
unprecedented.
comes off the bench, 6 man that makes $100 million. Besides maybe
What do you mean?
Tyler Hero.
Tyler
That's
Hero.
true. That's
And-
one.
And
That's
he
one.
should be starting.
That's one.
No,
Allen
wait,
Iverson
who's he-
came
who
off
does
the
he-
bench.
Who?
Allen Iverson came
Tyler
off
Hero
the bench.
just got a massive contract extension.
Allen
Yeah,
Iverson
he
came
just got
off
a
the
4-year,
bench.
$130 million.
I forgot. And then
Allen
once I said, I
Iverson.
thought about Jordan Poole. But
Allen
And
Iverson
Jordan
and Jordan Poole. There's plenty of people. There's plenty of people that got contracts that were the highest during their time frames that came off the bench. Ben Gordon
Poole-
got one of the
Jordan
highest
Poole
contracts
is
in the league
is an
and came
exception
off the
because
bench.
not every team
Came off the
has
bench.
2 Hall of Famers on their team in their prime. Like, Jordan Poole is an exception. There's 2 Hall of Famers in their prime in front of him. He's not
Okay.
going to start.
Allen
over them.
Iverson came off the bench. He
At
was
what
mad about it. He
point
still came off the
when
bench.
Allen Iverson was in his prime, did he come off the bench?
But hold
When
on.
did
Time
he
out.
get
AI
100
was not
million?
a slouch. No, because
They
weren't giving
kicked
out
him off
contracts
of
like that.
Memphis because he refused to come off the bench. He got kicked off the Grizzlies for that reason, right? Because he did not want to come off the bench.
Come on now. Let's not
Did
pretend
that
that
not happen?
there haven't been
That-
superstars
that
coming
not-
off
you
the
brought
bench.
up Allen Iverson,
The money,
and I'm
but listen,
telling
the
you, you're
money-
wrong.
No, but I'm saying, but the money, because the money is the argument, right? But the
Right.
money is always going to be different across generations. You can't say, oh, there's no $100 million person, even though there are some. You can't say there's no $100 million people when they weren't giving out contracts to guys like that on their coming off their max deals. They weren't making $100 million. But if you wanted to compare dollars to dollars, and
Ginobili
the-
absolutely would
and-
have been $100 million
inflation-
player.
Ronald Jordan was one
Yeah,
of
he
them.
definitely would have.
all right.
Why are we-
What I'm
why are we
saying
They
is-
saying
deserve,
that?
they're giving everybody
I'm saying
$100 million these days.
What I'm saying is though, it's they gave him the contract to be that man, to be their guy.
And he wasn't
right?
that man, and he's not the man. They
All
would have
right.
got Brunson to
But-
prove that he's not the man.
That's what they got him for, or they got him to compliment each other. I don't know if it was
No, because-
They got them to compliment each other.
yeah, I
He
don't
got the
know.
compliment. Here's the thing. If you really believe that Julius is the man, I think you construct the team a little bit different. I think they hedged their bets and said, we need to get a point guard to at least run the floor with Julius Randle because we don't need to go all in now because we don't even know if we have that guy in Julius Randle. Think about all the other players.
I
who
think
we
they got a
know are
point
the
guard because they
guys.
needed a point guard.
No, but think about all the players that were the guys.
Who's-
We know
Who
they were
started
the
at the
guys.
one last year?
Guess what happened? No, I'm not saying the Knicks didn't need a one. I'm saying that every time we have a guy, a superstar that we know are great, they are usually superstars that follow them on that team, and the team does whatever they can to get another superstar. The Knicks went and got Jalen Brunson.
But Julius Randle's not a superstar though.
Exactly. He's not the guy. That's what I'm trying to say. He's not the guy.
Knicks
So
should
you
have
don't get
traded for
another
Donovan
guy.
Mitchell.
But none
Right.
of that means anything, Roz, because
It
the
does
person
mean
that you're trying
something.
to replace him is also not the guy. Obi Toppin,
But that's what I'm trying to
is
say.
not a superstar. So why
Yeah,
are
but
you
you-
starting him?
Exactly.
So here's what I'll
If
say:
there
you
are
could
no
probably
guys-
get
if
Obi's
there are no
production
guys, who
up to be
cares?
Julius Randle's production from last year.
Exactly.
To
If
be
you
fair.
have no guys, who cares? If you know you have no guys, then they're
Go
all
make a guy.
interchangeable. You either go get a guy or they're all interchangeable. If you know
Okay,
you
I
have
get what
no
you're saying.
guys, they're
Yes.
all
It
interchangeable.
took a
Right.
while to get here, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, no,
Like-
I've been on Roz's wavelength this whole time. The problem is
Like,
I think you could do it without benching Julius. I think you could do it with Julius being spelled out immediately.
Nah, I don't think
Just
that
to
works.
keep his
That's what-
ego.
That's
Just to keep his
exactly
ego.
because
But
it
you
matters.
don't worry about his ego because he's not.
Well,
the
I also am
guy,
of the
man.
vein that the
He's not the
the roles
guy,
in the
dude.
NBA don't mean shit as long as you get your minutes.
Exactly. It
That
doesn't
shit's
matter.
super
The
overrated.
numbers in the minutes.
And if
but
you
you're
care
te-
about winning, that shit doesn't matter at all.
I'm not a Knicks fan, but I'm telling you right now, if you're a Knicks fan and you're faced with the possibility of making your team better by just merely sitting in rotation, and you feel like you have a guy whose contract you're not even sure is an albatross, and now you're not
Trash.
even sure if he can even become a six man, what do you have? What do you have?
I don't
If he's-
see him
if
being
he's
good at a
bad,
six man.
if he's bad, but if he's all right, but if he's not a 20-point guy, if he's not an 18-point guy, if Jules is doing the same thing Jules is doing last year, what do you have? Are you going to then bench him?
But he
for
was a
Obi
20-point
Toppin?
guy last year, though.
But
But
that's disappointing from his most improved player. He was averaging what, like 26?
No, but the thing is, when you include another offensive scorer and he's still hitting for 20 points a game, that's good for
Here's
me.
the thing: Jalen Brunson isn't this
Jalen Brunson
like
isn't
25 a point game.
I didn't say 25. I said
He's gonna get you like 18. He's gonna get
He's
you
gonna
like
get you
18.
18. He's gonna get you better
He'll get you-
production than you got out of your starting point
None
guard
of-
last year. He's
none
not
of
gonna
that
take away
matters.
from Julius.
The argument is what
How are the
has
Knicks
Obi
making the
Toppin
playoffs?
done to start over Julius Randle?
He
When you
hasn't
can just
done-
stagger when you can just stagger the
Yeah.
minutes. When you can
If you-
just
if
stagger
you
the
look-
But
minutes.
again, we care
If
too
you
much
look
about the
at-
starter thing.
No,
Do you
if
think
you
Obi can
look
play the
at-
three?
Yeah, of course they care about the start.
No, Obi can't play the three.
Nah,
How long did it? How long did it
Maybe
take? Melo,
in a big
Raj,
rotation, maybe.
Raj,
I don't think
how
that's-
long did it take Melo to finally accept going to the bench?
I mean,
You know
come
how
on now.
you know
Come
how
on
big of
now.
an
I'm
issue
not
that
gonna-
was.
I'm
It's a little bit different.
I'm not-
Melo was
yeah,
a
I'm not gonna compare-
superstar.
I'm not going to compare.
And he was
Melo
out the
to
league.
Julius
Like he ended up
Yeah,
having
I'm
No,
was
not
a
but
gonna
there's-
legitimate
Melo to Julius
superstar.
Randle.
No, but there was a
We're
reason
not
why
gonna
they
do that.
wanted him on the bench.
Julius
but
Randle
we're
is
not gonna
not
do
a
that.
superstar.
We're not going to do that. I only brought up other superstars because it's not unprecedented that a superstar would come off the bench. That's the only reason why.
Yeah, don't
But I'm
compare
not-
Melo.
I'm not
Melo.
going to compare.
on the back half
Like-
of the career. Like he's still in his prime. Like this is the best he's gonna play
Yeah,
right
like-
now.
Yeah, don't compare
Like-
Prime Melo to Julius.
Yeah.
I was not comparing them. I was just saying. There's a
But you were
reason why
comparing
they
a situation.
But you're
No, but it's the
talking
same thing. You're talking about, just be on the bench. They wanted Melo on the bench. They wanted Melo to come
Yes,
off the
they
bench.
wanted because
But I'm-
Melo finally took a step back. When Melo has to mentally be like, "Yo, I'm not that guy anymore." Julius Randle has literally never been that guy.
But my thing is like Obi Toppin. At least when Obi Toppin has gotten starter minutes, he's had some really good games. Like, and the only thing you can think of is, and here's also the thing where the Knicks are putting themselves in a very bad position. You drafted the man Obi Toppin with your number one draft pick to eventually go into the starting rotation at some point and around this time. So what's the end game with Obi Toppin now? Because his contract isn't going to outlast Julius Randle's contract. So now you're coming into a collision course with, are you going to eventually trade Julius Randle's anyway, and you've now realized you stunted Obi Toppin's growth, or you're going to just bench Julius Randle eventually, and now you have a disgruntled Julius Randle anyway. I don't know what the Knicks' end game is with this when they're trying to build their talent and try to nurture their talent, right? I get Brunson because they have a black hole at the one. But again, like if you don't believe that they're going to actually make the playoffs with the core right now, you have a guy that you drafted, 13, 12 overall, and he's showing you that when he gets starting minutes, he's putting up like crazy numbers. I think Obi Toppin finished the season with he probably won people's fantasy leagues. Obi Toppin was out here going crazy. And you're going to tell me you look at that sample size at the end and say, maybe we might have something there. Maybe you're like, nah, we just got to make sure Jules doesn't flip off Madison Square Garden again. That's crazy.
Now Tibbs needs to go in and they need to figure out what they have with Obi and give him. He's going to get a shot, right? You just got to stagger the minutes, but eventually you're going to have to pick.
I
who
don't
you
think
want.
you did. I don't think
I'm
you
not a
did.
Knicks fan.
The reason why you
I'm not
have to
listening.
pick is because of the money thing. Because what? Obi's contract's up in 2 years, and Julius has 3 more years on.
Correct. That's
So
what I
you
was
have
talking
to
about.
figure out money-wise what you're going to do. And if you see that Obi can give you similar production in a different way and not be as ball dominant as Julius is, you're like, hey, maybe we roll the dice on the kid who's making like $5 million a year or $15 million a year from his rookie contract, and we dump the guy who's making like 40, and like we get some other pieces to build around RJ, Brunson, and Obi.
And you guys are mad about the fact that Julius is going to get upset. Imagine
fuck.
Obi Toppin. Imagine Obi Toppin looking for a max contract. Like, you think this is all happening in a vacuum? He's just
Max
sitting here thinking,
contract.
no. Every
No.
player, no.
The
every
rookie
player,
max.
No, rookie
Oh.
max. Every
The rookie
player.
max.
That's still a max.
Yeah, still. I mean,
It's a
still
different
pretty-
max.
Still a lot of money.
It's
But
a
do
lot of
you
money.
think
Like,
Obi-
imagine Obi getting, like, let's see Obi averages 18 points a game this year, and then next year, and his contract's up, he averages like 20.
I'm just gonna put
And
it
then
this
you're
way.
getting to the point. But again, if he gets the type of minutes and the production of what we think he could be, because I think Obi could average 18, and if the next year he averages 20, guess what? That's only one more basket, 2 free throws. Like, things can happen. It's a natural progression. He will ask for a rookie max deal, and the Knicks will be like, well, shit, we can't afford the rookie max deal because we have Julius Randle on the books.
Yeah. So here's the question: what do the Knicks fans think of Obi Toppin's ceiling, and what do they think that they have in Obi Toppin? Because if you don't think that he's an 18 to 20 point per game player, then you just wasted your draft pick. Then he's another
I
bust.
think-
No, he's
He's
absolutely.
another-
I think
He knows.
another bust.
that.
He's a
but
bust.
No, he's
the
absolutely
problem is,
shown.
I still think
Okay.
Julius Randle can get 24, 25 a night. That's the difference.
The problem with Knicks
Okay.
fans is you
Okay.
guys have a guy in
Okay.
Julius Randle that you want to live and die by, but like need
It's
to.
not about
want a
living and
piece of-
dying by.
He
Not
needs to
by
go.
living and dying.
He doesn't have.
It's living and dying.
Both him and
When
Obi
the Nets had
Are
D'Angelo
you-
Russell,
Are you saying that Julius Randle can't average 24 points in the NBA right now?
No, I didn't say
no,
that.
he can,
I'm
but
not
like,
saying that.
is it a good 24 points?
So what are we saying?
I think he could average 24 points.
What I'm saying is,
Like,
what
yeah,
I'm saying
Trey
is what I said.
Trade him
Yeah.
if you have an opportunity to trade him, trade him.
Yeah, for sure. But I feel like last year they had Trey Burke at the 1. That's not Trey Burke.
Alex Burks.
Alex Burke.
At the 1. That was a disaster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
huge disaster.
They had no bench. And I feel like he wasn't there locked in. But this year everybody's healthy. They brought in Jalen. Maybe come back good.
When the Nets had D'Angelo Russell, I was screaming to the hilltop, trade him while his value is at his highest, because he's not a guy. He's not going to lead us anywhere. Grant, yeah, we made a nice playoff run where we got gentlemanly swept out of Philly, and D'Angelo Russell was fucking terrible. He had the same type of playoff performance that Julius Randle had in his debut, where everybody else was looking great around him, where he wasn't. You get rid of him while you can, so you can grow your youth. We had Karis LeVert, got rid of D'Angelo Russell, and Karis LeVert was having a great season. Dinwiddie having a great time playing. Dinwiddie's my guy. I'd much rather have Spencer Dinwiddie than D'Angelo Russell. You guys have a situation where you have Obi Toppin. If you give Obi Toppin more minutes and he could turn into this guy that's like could give you the same type of production while making less money, you go and do that, and you tell Julius Randle, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but I know you guys are starving, most certainly, because you guys are literally
Don't
over here
settle for a
falling
fake
on
star.
falling on the Julius Randle sword.
Oh.
He
Don't
only flipped
settle.
off your entire
Have
fan
higher
base.
expectations for
Oh my
yourselves.
No. I'm not
You-
big on Julius Randle. I just don't
Yeah,
see
you,
Have
Stop
higher
it.
expectations
y'all are
for the organization.
overdoing it. Y'all are overdoing
Y'all just overdoing it, man.
Have
How?
higher expectations for your.
How?
Because you're
for your
acting like
You're
Julius
working.
Randle is a 16-point-a-game scorer. Like,
He might as well be if he's making
Well, what I'm
$50 million
saying is,
a
though,
year and only averages
like-
like 20.
It's
Like
like, why would
$50
we get
million
Jalen
a
Brunson?
year.
Why would we get Jalen
Bro, how
Brunson
much you think he's getting paid, man?
He's
Why would
making,
the
he's
Knicks
making
get-
an albatross contract.
It's a 4-year, $117 million. I know
Jalen
worse
Brunson and not give it a chance though. Like they gotta at least see if it's gonna work. They gotta at
No,
least
they have
try.
to, but like this is the year where you kind of jump ship.
I feel like this is the last try. This is the last try for me.
If you get to the trade, you could like right before the trade. If you get to All-Star break and it's like kind of like looking weird, where you can see Julius Randle is the problem, you got to move him.
That I could see a world where you probably
Who takes that?
Pencil that in as one of my fucking things. Like Julius Randle gets traded.
I know Oklahoma City will take it. Just give them the rest of your draft
Oklahoma
picks.
City will take
That's
him. I'm
it.
buying
Just
him
give the
out.
rest of your draft picks.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City will take them.
You could ship out Fournier and Randall. Fournier, Randall, and a first-round pick.
Fournier, I don't mind.
No, Fournier, Randall, you'll get back a first-round pick, and they'll buy him out.
They'll literally take like three first round picks for you for like Julius Randle and Fournier, and you'll be gladly giving it away. Again, right? A guy who flips off your entire fan base, doesn't show up.
So I'm not here for this Randall hate speech, all right?
And you guys.
I forgot he's the king of New York.
And you guys,
shut up, Dylan.
And you guys talk about him like he is legitimately the king of New York. So it's like, I mean, if that
one playoff appearance, like, and then he's the fucking king. That's crazy.
If that isn't a poverty franchise, I don't.
Here's the thing.
I don't know what else is.
Listen. I'm not gonna sit here and act like there weren't people who hyped up Julius Randle, but at the same time, I just said that.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm not gonna sit here and act like he didn't bring us back to relevancy that postseason.
But you owe him nothing.
Nothing.
That's the thing. You owe him nothing. There's zero
loyalty. He also brought you back down to mediocrity.
He brought you right back to being an embarrassment.
It's not. But the thing is, at the end of
Derrick Rose, it wasn't just him. Derrick Rose played really
No,
well.
I understand that, but
playoff series.
I understand that, but my thing is, yes, did Randall take a step back? Yes, he did, but he still gave us 20 points a game. He still gave us efficiency on the court.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
We didn't win because we didn't have enough firepower.
That's all
We didn't.
you need. And you got it now.
And a lot of and this is
you guys got it now.
Don't be loyal to a guy who fucking flamed out.
You guys got it.
I just don't. The only thing I agree with is what you said, Dylan, is if Julius Randle is still underperforming by the break, I think we should consider moving on from him. That's the most I would say. That's literally the most I would go.
Who will take the man?
If you don't have a guy, everyone can go.
You know, I've been on this. I've talked about this already about not having a guy and looking for a guy. But the Knicks fans, you'll find the guy. You just have to wait another 5 years. What's another 5 years?
Oh my God! Another 5. Get the hell out of here with that bullshit.
What's another 5 years? You have
5. A lot. Listen, that's 5 NBA seasons.
You have tons of draft capital. What's another 5 years? You could just
a 10-year stretch where I didn't have a guy and I was begging for the Nets to trade everyone every year.
Just find it in the draft.
And you want Knicks fans to be like that.
No, just find it in the.
Look what we have.
Yeah, Dylan's 10-year plan. Yes, let's follow that.
Find it in the draft, baby.
If you don't have guys, trade him. I had Thaddeus Young on a max contract. Who wants Thaddeus Young on a max contract? And he was giving me exactly what Julius Randle was giving you, except I had playoff wins. Like, that's the difference. And I was begging for Thaddeus Young to get traded. Begging for Brook Lopez to get traded.
Knicks cracked the code, bro. They got it all figured out. Julius is going to lead us to the promised land, man. Julius is going to lead us to the promised land. Julius leads us to the promised land, bro. He's the man.
No, that would be hilarious.
Julius can't even beat the team across town.
Well, to be fair, none of us were able to. That was a collective L that we took against
the Knicks haven't beaten the Nets in 2 years. We're approaching new season, baby. We're approaching 900 days.
It's a new season.
We can put that down on my list, Dylan. I already told you that shit ends this year.
Hell the fuck yeah.
We'll see.
No, it's not. It's not. We'll see.
And then everybody's favorite Aussie darling fucking puts Julius Randle on the Barbie.
Julius on the cover of 2K24. Calling it right now. Surprise pick.
Julius isn't even the best left-hander in New York.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Eastern Conference Finals on the back of Julius Randle. I'm all for it. If you guys do that, I mean, like, there's nothing I can say, man.
Up.
There's nothing I can say.
I'll shut the fuck up.
I won't be able to say nothing, man. I won't be able to say nothing about that, bro. Like, but you know what? Like, you know, there's a lot of stuff happening. I just took a look at the score. It looks like how I expected it to look. Everything seems to be well in the universe.
Wait, what's the score? What's the score of the Lakers
Lakers
game?
are losing by like 20.
Holy shit. Yo, they were just within like 5. They have like a
Yeah,
couple
the
minutes.
Warriors did
Where's
that
the
thing they
Warriors,
do
though?
where they make a lot of 3-point shots in a small
Oh, they,
amount.
they did that thing? Oh,
They did that thing that like the ball goes in from behind that 3-point line a lot.
okay.
So I'm
Over
supposed
and
to
over and over again.
I'm supposed to just enjoy LeBron breaking Kareem's point score. I shouldn't care.
Oh,
Lakers fan
LeBron
about
breaks
wins.
Kareem's all-time point record against the Knicks.
Yeah, I mean, like that's what I should be looking for as a Lakers fan. I should
Put that down, too.
I
That
should
is going to be
looking-
scripted,
Against the Knicks.
just like Steph
What
Curry
game
did
is
it.
that?
It's in like January. It's in like January, February. I think it's if LeBron plays the majority of the games from now till like January something, or whenever the Knicks play in that time frame would match up perfectly to when the Lakers are in Madison Square Garden.
It's so sick. It's so sick because it's like, why do I even care about not winning? Just watching him break a points lead. Like I don't care. Why don't they just win? Funny part
Now
is,
it's just the points record
I mean,
Just-
it's one of the best
looking
records
forward to?
in
in
sports.
sports, but
No,
it's
I'm not
just a
saying it's
record
not. I'm
because
not
it's
saying that.
LeBron.
But
I'm
it
just
means
saying.
more if you're a LeBron fan.
Yeah, like I mean,
It doesn't mean
I'm a
shit for a
Lakers
Laker
fan.
fan. It doesn't mean
Why
shit
do I?
for him.
Why do I have to endure
Doesn't mean
us
anything
losing?
to a LeBron hater. I mean,
Why do I have to? Why do I have to endure us losing massive amounts of games as long as he plays 40 minutes and then?
I mean, it's
massive
the points
amounts of
lead.
Why are we
games,
jumping off
Rob.
this shit game
Exactly,
one
because
of
this is what he
82?
does. This is what he does.
I know.
Y'all gotta lose massive amount of games. So are the Lakers making the playoffs, Russ? Is
Maybe
that what
not.
you're saying?
Maybe not.
You want me to write that down? You want me to write that down?
You can definitely write down maybe not. Absolutely.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe.
Maybe not. I didn't say maybe. I
Let's
said
not
maybe
panic. Game one of 82. Losing opening night against the
Lakers
team
look
that
bad,
just
man.
won the NBA Finals. The Lakers aren't good, but like
losing
let's relax.
to the team that won the championship last night. That the consensus is will be a top 4 team again this year.
I mean, if the Kings come to town and give you guys a proper mollywop,
if the Kings were beating y'all by 20, if the Kings were beating y'all by 20, that'd be something.
Because that's out of the realm of possibility, right?
No,
that's
I watched
not
that happen last year
possible,
too.
Right? Yeah, that's not possible, right? That's the difference between me as a Laker fan and y'all as a Knicks fan. I know we're in for a long season. I don't care if
So
after one game,
like. Huh?
Well,
After
remember,
one
last
game?
year, Anthony, you were crowning the Knicks champions already.
Exactly.
After one
no,
game.
that was for
No,
next
no.
season, Dylan.
No,
Jeez.
that was. Listen, Rich, listen, I wish you were here. 2 games into the season, I wish you saw
Bro.
this podcast.
My brother was doing the same
It was
thing,
sick. It was sick.
It was.
And-
Anthony is notorious the collision course for the Warriors. Mike is over here. We're back. We're gonna do all these things. James is over here telling
just
us
for them to miss the playoffs.
you know what I said to them? You know what I looked them all in the eye, and this is recorded, by the way. I said, you guys are 2 games into the season, and you guys are saying you're going to go to the championship. I said, in fact, you have more of a chance of not going to the playoffs than you would have actually going to the championship.
I heard it
And
every
again-
day because they won. They beat the Celtics in like double overtime or some wild shit like
Yes,
They beat the
yes,
Celtics off of
yes.
Evan Fournier, and then they
Evan
ran outside and
Fournier
started
was the
screaming, "Fuck
biggest
Trae Young."
Evan
Oh
Fournier-
my god, bro!
A
heard
player
that.
who had nothing to do with that game. Nick fans are
I'm gonna tell you
sick.
that right now. You haven't heard on this pod. You haven't heard a Bing Bong
In a while.
in a while. In a while.
Look at Mike's face.
In a while.
It's
The
not very
whole
big
world.
bong of you, Michael.
It's not very.
It's not very big bong of you.
There's been no Bing Bongs whatsoever. I've been asking too. I'm like, can I get one? Everybody's been like, nah, I don't want. I'm like, come on, what happened? Just give me one. Like, give me nah. You think you're so funny? I'm like, just give me one. I said it. I asked for, sound effects. Let me get one. Like, it's all right though. New York sports is back. I'm hoping the Knicks will be good. Nets will be good. It's all a feel good type of
Giants
thing.
win the
That's
Super
how
Bowl
it should
for
be.
boy.
Oh wow! Woo.
That's what Mike's trying to get me to say something like that, and I told him that's not what I am. Mike was
That's
trying
not
to
what
get
I
me to
am
go
either.
full Anthony today. He was like, "Yes, say the Jets are going to the Super Bowl." I'm like, "I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that."
I think Giants are 6-1 though.
However,
I think
if the
Giants
Jets
gonna be
get
6-1.
8 wins, I'm going to be saying things.
Like what?
I'm holding it back. There's one
I said
phrase
7.
I will be saying.
I said 7. If they get to 7, then I'm gonna start. I'm gonna be activated. I'm letting you know that right now.
You know
If
what,
we get to
Roz?
7,
I'll do
I'll be
that with you.
activated.
If the
I'll
Jets
be
get,
activated.
when the Jets get to 7 wins, I will say the
win.
phrase 7
Win.
wins. When because it's
they
gonna
get
happen.
to 7.
We just need 3 more. We just need 3 more.
I'm
When
not
the
saying
Jets
win.
get to
I'm not
7,
saying win.
I'm saying when.
If
When the Jets get to 7, I will say the phrase that I am cooking up in my head because it's not going to have anything to do with the cookie baking because the cookie's still going to bake. These kids are 25. So let the cookie bake there.
He already
But-
got premeditated.
But there is a phrase I will be saying, and it's going to sound a lot like the Tennessee Volunteers phrase. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Because down
Listen.
goes Bama. Down goes the Guardians. Down goes the big bad Packers.
Oh boy!
But can we? Are we gonna get some? Can we talk about those? Since we're on New York sports, can we talk about like
The Yankees?
those junkies, those Los
The Nueva
junkies,
York Yankees?
the New York junkies coming through and
Properly
And, you know,
packing up those fucking pussies.
Yes.
Hey, Cleveland, this L's for you.
if it's possible, I don't know if for like copyright if we can get that, but I would love right now if we can add the whole LeBron Cleveland. This is for you. Sound effect. We can put that in here right now. This is for you. Cleveland, this L is for you. You know, like let's
Rich, in case you're wondering, Anthony said that the Guardians were going to properly pack us up.
Wow.
pack us
So
up.
that's what you said?
Yeah.
That's what he
Oh,
said.
damn.
And
You remember that?
boy, after game 3, boy.
He was like, the bar that I'm at is freaking out. Everyone's going crazy. We all hate the Yankees here. What bar did you go to? Did you fly to Cleveland? What bar in Connecticut did you go to that had a bunch of people who hate the New York Yankees?
Hilarious.
That bar must have lost all his juice. Probably like the fifth inning, they were probably.
I was like, "Oh shit! I might actually win this fucking bet." Like the Guardians are up 2 games to 1.
Yeah, he also bet me like $15 that the Guardians were gonna fucking beat the Yankees.
Yeah.
Fucking Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Garrett Cole came out there in this game fucking 4 and was like, "Yo, hold my fucking dick, motherfuckers, get out of here!" And then Nasty Nestor came out there and was rocking the baby on the mound, getting these fucking clowns out of here. Big G, 3-run homer in the first.
So who they got? They're going to Houston, right?
Houston,
Going
Yes.
to Houston tomorrow.
Ooh,
let's go get the boogeyman.
Yeah, tomorrow's rough. Tomorrow
do it.
is rough.
Yeah, Tyon starting tomorrow.
Tomorrow's rough. Tomorrow, I don't know about tomorrow. That's going to be a rough one. But
that's the 7-game series, right?
Yep.
yeah,
Yes.
you just got to steal one.
I can't believe they were warming up Garrett Cole today.
He said he was going to. He said he was willing to.
Yeah,
I
he
know,
said
but
he
I
was.
can't
He
believe
said
they
he
actually
was-
did it. I can't believe they're
I know.
actually going to warm him up just in case they came back.
I
That's
know.
crazy to me that they actually did. Like, okay, Boone, you fucking madman, calm down.
This
First,
is
I
ve-
can't.
this
First,
is
I
very-
can't get you to put your pitchers in the fucking game, and now you're trying to put our ace in as a fucking reliever.
This is
You know what I think?
2009 written all over, and the Yankees won in spite of Girardi. It's just the same thing. They're winning in
did a
spite
great
of
job
Boone
with
right
that
now.
bullpen. Girardi did a great job with that bullpen, and I'm telling you, if you guys look back at how he managed the bullpen that whole year, it was pretty darn good. It was pretty darn good. His binder made them so rested come playoff time that they just like he was able to just really like just go crazy with them. But if you watch him how he managed the bullpen in the playoffs, he was pretty aggressive actually. He was very aggressive. I think he took out like oh man, I'm trying to remember. I feel like he took out somebody with like it was like they put somebody on, he automatically took them out, and I was like, well, that's a little strange. Like he's managing it pretty aggressively here. But yeah, Boone. I don't know, man.
Boone's a cocksucker, and you can't tell me otherwise.
Yeah,
Cocksuckers
Boone.
Don't care. It's accurate. You're not telling me I'm wrong.
questionable decisions, but
Boone not playing Clay Holmes in Game 3
might have cost us the.
That might have cost us the
Garrett
fucking
Cole starting.
Garrett Cole starting, and then that almost put Aaron Boone on my on-site list, a list that only Billy King. It would have been Billy King and Aaron Boone, where like no matter where I am in my life, if I were to ever run into one of those motherfuckers, I'm punching him in the face. Don't care if I go to jail. Don't care if I get my ass whipped. Don't care if I get beat up by military security guards. I'm doing it.
Yeah, that was rough, man. That was a rough game. But I mean, like, again, if we could somehow just like take one in Houston, I mean, that's huge. Because eventually Cole has to pitch again. Nessa's going to pitch. Sevy's going to pitch. This Tyon versus Verlander is like one of the worst matchups.
No, it's not Verlander.
Verlander's starting.
No,
is he not?
Verlander's not the starter, from what I remember seeing.
I thought they said he was going to start this first game.
From what I remember reading a couple hours ago, there was like it's not Verlander starting.
That's an interesting move.
I thought.
Hold, please.
Yeah, he's game one. He's the game one starter. Yeah, he's the game one starter.
Oh, so it is? Okay. So I might have read something wrong.
Yeah, it's Verlander versus Tyon. I mean, Tyon's not better than their top three anyway. So it's just a rough outing. But I mean, like, it's just
we just gotta get production. We just gotta get production.
Yeah, you just gotta. The bats have to.
Benintendi's out. He's not coming back.
I didn't expect him to come back.
Yeah, he's not coming back, and they're still waiting on DJ because Aaron Hicks is out for the rest of the playoffs.
Wait, did his knee did he
6 weeks?
Was it towards MCL or something?
I don't know. They just said after it got looked at, he's out for like 6 weeks. So they're gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do and who they're gonna bring up onto that roster.
Yep.
But hey,
Yankees can't call. No, they won't do it because they're trying to manipulate service time.
Hey, go ahead and bring up Oswald. Have him play shortstop and put Cabrera back. Put Cabrera back there.
Outfield. I don't think they can do that, can they? I don't know.
Yeah, they can.
I would do that
for this round. They'd have to do the move like right now. They'd have to announce it now.
I would do that because you're going to tell me you're going to put Marwin in. And
don't not play Marwin Gonzalez. That fucking bomb.
Come on, man. Like
no more Marwin. I'm over Marwin.
But yeah, I think we have like an interesting setup for these two championship series.
Phillies won, by the way. Phillies are up.
That's crazy. This has 09 written all over it.
Yeah, it'll be awesome.
Great time to be a Philly sports fan. I'll tell you that.
Yes, it is.
They are loving life right now.
Yes, it is.
Aren't the Flyers like 3-0? I think the Flyers are undefeated too. Like, sheesh.
Anthony, who's your team for NHL?
What?
You announced your NHL team a while back. The Kings, right?
Yes.
The Kings. Let's take a look at the standings really quick.
I know the Rangers are doing pretty darn well too. The Rangers are doing pretty darn well.
All right.
It's a good time for New York
Kings
sports
3-2.
Yes,
so Islanders are 2-1.
A great time for New York sports.
And the Rangers are 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. What a time to be alive. What are the Devils? Where are they at?
You're not going to tell us, Mike?
They're 1-2. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. That's why you didn't tell us about the Devils.
Yeah, Mike doesn't want to talk about the Jersey Devils right now.
We're rebuilding.
Oh,
that's code word for we fucking stink.
We're rebuilding.
We're rebuilding.
We're establishing a culture.
Oh my God, Anthony Davis. The Lakers have cut it down to about 13
to
5 minutes left.
Had a fast break, and Anthony
Davis just
fumbled the ball out of bounds.
Yeah. Long
Well, Rod,
season.
you don't care. You're rooting for your team, though.
Yeah, that's what you want to tell yourself. Then
I mean, you
I
were
don't know what
rooting
to
for the
tell you.
Jets to lose for a while.
I was not
And
rooting for the Jets to lose.
and rooting for the Yankees to lose.
Just all
And
fallacy.
rooting for the
All
Yankees to
fallacy.
lose.
All fallacy. No one believes this.
I
No one-
believe
Buddy,
no one-
everyone
no
in
one
this pod
corroborates
seems to
it.
believe it.
Roz
no one
Roz
believes
didn't
you
want to let
guys.
the cookie bake.
No one. The funny thing is, neither one of you corroborate each other. You just say whatever you exactly believe individually about certain things, and no one corroborates it. It's not real. It's not real. Dylan's like, I want the Jets to lose. No one agrees with that.
Mike, do you think
Mike
Roz
says the
wants the
Yankees
Jets to
will
lose?
Yes.
Yeah, he just
There
said
we
that
go.
out of spite. He said that out of spite. Once I pointed it out, he said that. But I just wanted to be clear to our viewers. You see that no one corroborated that but themselves
Dude,
individually.
we played 3 games with Joe Flacco at quarterback, and Roz is like, blow it up! Throw it in the
Fire
garbage.
Joe Douglas. Fire Salah.
Fire Salah,
The
roast him over the
Jets
fire,
defense-
get him out.
Jets defense is terrible.
This
Jets
Jets defense has
was
allowed
terrible.
27 points a game for X amount of games in a
9
row.
straight.
They're not good.
Everything that I said was true.
And Roz, what did I say?
Everything I said was true.
And what did I say?
You said let the cookie bake.
Let the cookie bake. You see
All
what
right,
happens
but
when you let the
it
cookie
doesn't
bake?
It doesn't discredit anything I said, though.
No, it doesn't discredit
doesn't.
anything you said, but it does discredit the roasting Robert Sala over the fucking fire
And
pit.
he deserved to be roasted. It was everything I said
Not
was
to
true.
mention when I tried to get you to give Robert Sala his props on Sunday, you said he's fine.
No, I said he's good. I gave him his props here.
You were
on this
giving Brian
I gave us-
Dable
I gave-
every flower you could see. You were in
Brian
the
Dable.
flower shop. You were like, "Ooh, this one's nice."
Brian
one's
Dable.
nice.
Brian
This
Dable
one's nice.
deserves his flowers, man.
And then I
The
said,
guy
"Okay,
did a
now
hell of a
give
job.
Robert Sala his flowers." You were like, "Oh well, here's a fucking dandelion." Like,
That's not what
here
I
you
said.
go.
I said, no, he's doing a great job. I said it on this pod.
You
On
know,
this pod, I said.
give Sala the same love you give Dable.
I mean, it's not fair.
It's
not fair. It's
Don't
not-
do
it's
that.
not
Don't
fair.
do
It's not fair.
that.
It's not fair.
I'm over
not
here
fair.
running stairs with Sala every Sunday. I
First
believe in
time
that
head-
man.
First time head coach, and he's doing
Both of 'em.
something like at least you could make an argument that the Jets, if their talent hit, that they could possibly be better than they were last year. No one expected the Giants to be 5-1.
Giants have talent though. They have more talent than the
No
Jets did last
one.
year.
Then the
I don't
Jets.
care.
Yeah, you can say
The
it. Then
most-
the Jets. You can say it.
They don't have it
most-
this year. They don't have more talent,
the
but last
most-
year they did.
The
They
most
absolutely-
die-hard Giants fans will never, and I don't care if they tell you the lie right now, no one believed the Giants were going to be 5-1 to start the season. Based
did.
on what? No, you didn't.
I mean, you could also ask the Jets fan if you thought the Jets fans were going to be 4-2.
No, you didn't.
Exactly. Exactly.
If you would have told me going
Yeah.
into week 1 that we'd be 4-2, I'd be like,
No way.
in what fucking
I-
world?
Exactly. I didn't believe we were going to be 4-2. So I know for a fact the Giants fans didn't think that they were going 5-1. We could have did a poll, and I wish that poll was there. We could just pull it up of all the Giants fans across the nation. Where do you think the Giants are going to be after 6 games?
6-0.
They'd be like,
I actually thought
Yeah, no way. No way.
we were sure.
No way. They still fell below you.
He's one of those fans. He's like, I don't care how good or bad my team is. My team's better than everybody.
And I respect that. But the G-Men, Dable,
We got a 12
Did you
point
see
game
that?
here.
Did you
I
see
did.
that, Dylan?
I did. Russ
Still
you.
got the bunny.
Dable's done a great job, though. Shout out
What
to
about
Dable.
Salah? Has Salah done a great job?
Shout out to Robert Sala. He's done a great job as well too.
Thank you.
There we
But
go.
Dable's done a better job.
But Dable's done a better job. Before we move back,
Come on,
to
you
our
know that
fantasy-
though. You know that.
I would
You know
agree.
that.
I would agree, but it's funny hearing you have no bias.
He has
towards
such a
sports.
crush. He has such
Oh,
a crush on Dable.
He's an
It's-
offense. Yo, the guy is an
It's
offensive
hilarious.
head coach.
Imagine the
Someone we
offensive head
haven't
coach
had.
having a good offense and the defensive head coach having a good defense.
Yeah, I wouldn't know because imagine that because I wouldn't know because the last time we had an offensive coach, we did not have a good offense.
No, well, we didn't hire offensive coach. We hired an
But
idiot.
yeah,
No, we hired an offensive.
No, we
coach.
hired an
We had
idiot.
an offensive coach.
We hired
an offensive.
Chris Johnson decided we were going to listen to Peyton Manning. And
Who's
that
an
was gonna
offensive
work.
mind, an offensive guy, right? Who better than the sheriff himself? He shouldn't be allowed back into the stadium. His face should be plastered across MetLife Stadium. The sheriff should not be allowed in this jurisdiction. He should not be here. I love Peyton Manning, but he can't come back to MetLife Stadium.
He should have been a Jet, and he shouldn't have made us hire Adam Gase.
Mm-hmm.
But he's fucked us twice.
Good, Mike.
Before we go into our fantasy focus, back to football, which will be the end of our time with Brandon. I wanted to know if you wanted to take part in a new segment that we have that's called I'm Him. Who is your I'm Him guy for the week? That means sports, music, whatever you want. This person is him. He's him this week.
I am him this week. I have no clue. I am him, like
yo. All right, yo. Here, so Dylan, who's I'm him this week?
Who's him this week? Brees Hall's him. Actually, you know what? Quinnen Williams is him. Quinnen Williams is him. Quinnen Williams, 2 sacks.
Probably would have won the price.
Well, 2 sacks, a blocked field goal, fucking what, like 10 tackles. He's got a sack every week that he's played in the fucking NFL. He's had an unbelievable week. Quinnen Williams is the big reason we won that game on Sunday. He's the main reason we got pressure on Aaron Rodgers. And the way you attack Aaron Rodgers is the same way you attack Russell Wilson. Get pressure up the middle and contain. Don't let him run outside. Blitz him up the middle. Go get him. Big Q's him.
I'm gonna go with my boy Jason Tatum because I'm a biased guy. He just dropped 35, 12, 55% from the field. So I'm jacking Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum is him.
Yes.
Jason Tatum is him. Anthony, I know you're not gonna pick anyone from the Raiders. Who we go? Who going? Are you gonna pick? I don't know who you're gonna pick actually. Who's him this week, Anthony?
So I'm him could be anybody, right?
Anybody.
It doesn't have to be an athlete.
Does not have to be an athlete.
I'm him, honestly, for me, is Lil Baby.
Lil Baby.
He dropped a fire album this week, and I love most of it. I was never the biggest fan of him, and then some of his most recent work has really caught on to me. And yeah, real talk. Because I remember when Lil Baby got really hot, and I was like, yeah, fucking with him like that. But then when his last album was with My Turn, that's what it's called and shit. That shit was fucking dope. And then this one come out, I was like, damn, he really hitting it now. Like, I'm really fucking with this dude now. Like, I really like this album he put out. So I'll give it to him.
Okay.
All right.
I actually like that. I've listened to half of that album. It is actually pretty good.
He got some tracks on that.
Pretty good. Roz, who you do you want to give it to Dable, Roz? Is that
I'd throw up. If you gave it to Ryan Dable, I'd throw up.
Nah, man, come on now. You know, I'm him is gonna be my man Ahmad Sauce Gardner, bro.
One's
Rookie
up.
comes in, shows out, locks it down again, and has the wherewithal to throw in the cheese head and runs around the stadium to the chagrin of all Packers fans, including Alan Lazard himself, who ran probably the entire length of the field to knock it off his head before he went inside. Shout out to Sauce. Shout out to that's my guy. He's him so far this week for me.
And a guaranteed lock for Defensive Rookie of the Year.
It's not a guaranteed lock.
No,
I mean,
absolutely
he's
not.
at plus odds right now.
Doesn't make him a lock. He's winning, but he's not a lock.
Right now, there's nobody close. Nobody close.
Really?
For defensive rookie of the year, there's literally nobody close.
Oh, for defensive rookie of the year.
For defensive rookie of the year, there's nobody close.
10 weeks left.
I know, but right now, he has a 6-week head start because there's nobody close. The media has already run away with it. It's like, yeah, it's Sauce Gardner. Every ranking you look at is like, yeah, he's the best rookie in this class. Sauce Gardner. Nobody close.
For me, I'm going to say it is Josh Allen. Josh Allen is him.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that too. I was going to say that.
Yeah, but I can't, for the life of me, give it to somebody who's not a Jet after you go into Lambeau and win a game like that. So,
yeah, respect.
Josh went into Arrowhead. He slayed the Dragon, albeit in the regular season.
Can't wait to see that game again.
And him hurdling that Chiefs player, that was nasty.
I know, that was nasty.
That was nasty.
Can't wait to see that game again.
When are we going to see it again?
In the playoffs.
We're going to see that again.
Because, Anthony, this hate that you have for the Chiefs where you think they're not making the playoffs is crazy. There's no way you can look at that Chiefs team and be like, yeah, no, they're not making the playoffs. And you want to do a sneaky thing that they did? They turned Travis Kelce's contract into a signing bonus to free up about $3.75 million to sign off on a particular wide receiver who will be available in about 2 weeks.
Who's that wide receiver?
He was going to win Super Bowl MVP before he.
You're talking about Odell. You think Odell's going to Kansas City?
Yeah. I think OBJ is going to Kansas City.
They have OBJ linked to some other teams.
They're not willing to pay him.
I think it's literally between Kansas City and Buffalo.
Because they're saying his relationship with Von Miller might bring him to Buffalo.
It's really close. That's why I think Buffalo has a chance. But if he goes to Buffalo, we can all go home. We can all go home if he goes to Buffalo.
If he goes to Buffalo and is injury free, yeah,
if he goes to two of the best route runners in the NFL on the team, it's not
we
even
can
fair.
We can all go home.
No,
but if
I
he
think
goes to Kansas City. Ooh, wait a minute.
I feel bad for everybody.
That's going to be dangerous.
I think the Bills said they were trying to trade for Christian McCaffrey. Come on,
that's nightmare fuel. That's absolute.
That also is let's go home. Let's go. That's just come on, man.
Because these stars, they're gonna want to go to these top tier teams. They want to go somewhere where they
Pippen Jr. in the game.
Yeah, this game's over, Dylan.
I was watching. The Lakers made a slight comeback, and then
they tried, and then the Warriors were like, nah.
Curry hits a three, Wiggins hits a three, Wiggins hits another three, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, this game is over.
Nah, that's we know what time it is.
Yeah, if Kansas City gets fucking Odell Beckham Jr., that's crazy. That's crazy talk. And Anthony's like, the Chiefs are already going to win 10 games right now.
You think Odell is going to be the same as he was? You think
no, give him a couple weeks. Give him a couple weeks.
Okay.
He's got the rest of the season to kind of play himself into shape. The Chiefs are going to make the playoffs regardless. There's not a team that's going to win that division. They're going to win that division.
But speaking of going back to the Panthers for a second, I mean, not just Christian McCaffrey, but they were thinking about shopping DJ Moore as well.
Shop everybody. You have money on your books and your team stinks. There's no point.
Yeah, DJ Moore's nasty.
I would love DJ Moore on my Titans.
I was actually reading an article saying the Titans should be going after DJ Moore.
Because that'd be a perfect.
The Titans. The second a good wide receiver becomes available, the Titans should be like, "Hello."
That's a perfect fit for the Titans.
Like that's not me shitting on the Titans there. That's me saying like,
DJ
no,
Moore
serious.
Specifically fits Tennessee.
Oh yeah, DJ Moore is just like a similar AJ Brown.
Yeah, he's
not as physical. Just not as physical. But it's crazy because you guys could have had AJ Brown.
We could have, and he threw a temper tantrum, and they said, "Okay, all right, whatever you want," and traded him.
And now look at him; he's having an unbelievable year.
Yeah, so we get to like fucking week 10, he starts having him. Come on.
All right, y'all. I gotta get off. I gotta go to sleep. Nice talking to y'all.
All right, sir. Thank you
All
for
right,
coming
man.
on.
Thank you.
Later.
All right, man.
Yeah.
And yes,
This game is over.
Yeah, it's over. We can.
It's been over.
We only
The
actually.
game wasn't really
Only-
serious. Game's been over.
It's been over for a while.
Yeah.
We can just get our quick obligations out the way.
Water is
cross
water is
country
wet.
mortgage.
Water is wet. Water is wet.
So yes, Anthony already came in here trying to deflect, but he is correct. He is correct. He did steal another victory.
3 in a
And-
row.
I'm in shambles.
Dylan is in shambles.
I'm in
this is
absolute
true.
shambles. Worst
Like,
case
it's-
scenario happened where I had to rely on Cortland Sutton to get me 10 points. And I left Tyler Boyd on my bench. Tyler Boyd would have won me this game against Mario. And here I am.
But that's what I'm saying. The worst case scenario, you lost to Mario, who was your one cushion. You could have put a 2-game lead between you and him, and now we have. I mean, we got a long way to go.
But I have a mercenary coming up who's available to play this week. And
Oh,
his
Hopkins,
name
right?
is DeAndre Hopkins. And that should fix a lot of problems. Because you could take a guess at who is not playing in my lineup for wide receiver. Any fucking Bronco.
But you know the funny thing is, I'm looking because I'm Dylan. I'm looking at
you. Drop Dylan because you got to drop somebody.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do because you don't have a defense.
Oh yeah, no, I'm dropping Tyler Conklin.
Nobody wants that.
See, you said Hopkins is playing this week. The person you're playing has Kyler Murray starting.
Perfect. And I'm playing Joe Burrow against Atlanta.
Do you think that DeAndre Hopkins is going to be the X factor that you think he is?
I think DeAndre Hopkins will give me 5 more points than Cortland Sutton will.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet, right?
At this point, any Bronco that's on your team is a bad Bronco.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! By the way, I dropped Russell Wilson. I'm sorry. Russell Wilson is the guy I'm dropping because that bum does not get to stay on my team at all. But maybe Jonathan Taylor will play this week. Who knows?
Oh yeah, that's right. He's been injured.
Maybe DeAndre Swift will play this week. Who knows? But
Gotta
I do know I
replace-
have Saquon Barkley against the Jaguars, and that's gonna be fucking great.
Yeah.
And maybe
I have a team-
with Tua coming back, Jalen Waddle against Pittsburgh is gonna be fucking great.
Yeah, I have a team that's decimated by injuries.
I just want to point out that even with Anthony's 3-game winning streak, he still has a 19% chance to make
is
the
crazy.
playoffs.
I don't understand that. I was looking at that shit too. I was like, hold up. How does Terrell, who I dug in that motherfucker's ass a couple weeks ago, he has a 31% chance of getting to the playoffs, and I have a 19. How does that make any sense? He's on a 2-game losing streak.
Anthony, the
How?
team's not great.
He's on a 2-game losing streak.
My team's on a 3-game losing streak, and the second I start winning games, my shit's gonna go higher than yours because my team is actually good.
No, your team's on a 5-game losing streak. What are you talking about?
I know. I'm just saying when I start winning
Anthony,
games,
you also had the least amount of points scored against you.
that's
which
why.
means it's a lot of smoke and mirrors with you. It's a lot
yeah.
of smoke and mirrors.
My problem is all of my guys are fucking hurt or we're on bye weeks.
That's me. That's me. All my guys are hurt.
Yeah, I got Cousins on a fucking bye week, so I have to.
I got
find a
Swift on the
quarterback.
IR. I had Jonathan Taylor miss 3 weeks in a row. I have
Like,
fucking
Dylan,
Hopkins who can't play.
Dylan, you have scored. You're one of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us that have scored 700 points already. Yet, you've given up the second most points all season.
I know. I got to play defense. I gotta play defense.
Mario, unfortunately, has almost gotten 800.
Mario's almost
dropped on
cracked
him.
800. Yeah.
He has caught the wrong person every week. Every week he catches the wrong person. So I mean,
I need to go on a run here.
I faced Mario this week.
I need to go on a run.
so that
here.
should be a win, Anthony. That should be a win, right?
Never say never.
I need to go on a
Hopefully he
run
starts Justin
here.
Fields again. I would love to see him start Justin Fields at New England. That would be fun.
Yeah, that Bears team's terrible.
I don't know why he keeps starting Fields. Like he can't. Like I've seen QBs that are free agents in the draft that are better. Like picks. Like
I know some idiot just dropped Tua.
yeah, that was me.
I know. I claimed him.
It's-
Nobody has a higher waiver claim than me.
Talking about you.
None of you guys have a higher waiver claim than me. I'm taking Tua against Pittsburgh immediately.
The reason why I dropped him because again, Kirk Cousins has been doing well with me, and I don't know if Tua's going to be the same person coming out of the concussions and whatnot. I don't know how he's going to play.
Good thing you got Joe Burrow. He can't play worse than fucking Russell Wilson. I'll tell you that much.
That's right.
That's right. And I have joined Anthony on the Russell Wilson hate train. I hate everything about that human. He is the most insincere person I think I've ever seen in my life. There is not a genuine bone in his body.
That's right.
That's right.
And I loved listening to Marshawn Lynch talk to Richard Sherman about him. He's like, I want to call dog. And he's like, call him. Call his manager. And you can't get a hold of him unless you call his fucking manager.
The corniest thing I've ever heard in my life. This dude is so fucking lame.
What a fucking weirdo.
That's right.
And then he does the video where he's like, yo, so you know we got your family, you got to pick out the suits. When do you start talking like that, Russell? When did you start talking like that? You played football at not North Dakota State. You played fucking North Carolina, NC State, and fucking Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Yep.
There's no black people anywhere near those schools. When did you start talking like that, you fucking dork?
That's right.
I think Russ has an identity crisis. He has an identity crisis the way Logic has this weird identity crisis where Logic loves to tell people he's biracial. Russ doesn't know he can just be biracial or you don't have to pick a side. You can just be both. What a fucking weirdo. I hate him. Russell Wilson will never be him, by the way.
No.
Never will he ever be my
I'm telling you right now, he's going to be him if the Broncos beat the Raiders. He's going to be him for me.
Anthony, I'm not gonna lie, that may be the only circumstance where Russell Wilson is him. That may be the only circumstance where Russell Wilson is him.
That's the only claim. That's the only claim I can make this year. It's just like we still own the Broncos. We still own them. It doesn't matter at this point. We still have the number.
If they beat you, then you don't own anything. It's a
but
wash.
they haven't, and we don't see Denver again for several.
That could be the worst thing that can happen.
Maybe
it's not about when you play. It's not about who you play. It's about when you play them. That's why it was great for us to catch Green Bay now, rather than like week 15 when they figure it out. So,
yeah, luck, I mean, you know, Dylan, your team seems pretty well. Everyone seems to have some pretty decent teams. I'm just, you know, taking it one game at a time. Yeah, stealthily as the Florham Park Stranglers. We're just gonna one game at a time. Somehow we eke out these wins.
I need to streak together some greatness.
But
I feel like this podcast and fantasy football league aren't allowing me to be great. Not letting me be great.
I feel like you have a well done steak in your future. That's what I feel like.
It truly ain't easy being green, though. I'll tell you that. Certainly certainly not easy being green over here. And fans, this year's been, I don't know. I'm like taking it one week at a time, one day at a time, because I don't know. I've never run this hot. I can't remember running this hot in fantasy in a long time. I've been running pretty hot right now, but we'll see. You know, these things work themselves out in the end. I'm just trying to make the playoffs. You know, that's it. I'm just trying to make the
Playoffs.
I'm just trying to make the playoffs.
We're gonna talk about playoffs.
Playoffs. Just trying to win a game. You know, like literally, I'm just trying to win a game. Like, but gentlemen, it's going down this next week. I don't mean to talk about my squad, but if we really go in there and we ride high and we ride fast in Mile High Stadium,
I'm not going to want to come on.
My
the show.
question stands. What happens if we go into the bye week with 5 wins with the easy portion of our schedule coming up?
What's the easy portion of your schedule, though?
Jacksonville, Chicago, Seattle.
Seattle's easy.
Yes.
Seattle is not a good team.
Detroit.
Detroit.
I don't know.
If you go with 5, and that's not me counting any potential splits with divisional teams, and playing the worst defense in football in Minnesota.
You have
I don't know. I don't know.
The 8th ranked offense in football.
All I'm gonna say is, if
Don't worry, Mike. Just let the cookie bake, like they say.
all I'm gonna say is, I'm telling you guys right now, I already put the alarm out. If the Jets make 7 wins, I'm activated.
All right, so here's a question. All right, here's a question.
This is shake me up, Roz. Add instant Roz yeast. Add yeast into the. He's talking about cookies. Add Roz as the yeast inside of your batter and make the dough. I'm activated. Just mix me with water. I'm activated.
Here's my question: Who are the pretenders right now, and who are the actual pretenders?
Well, it depends.
Find out.
It depends.
We'll find out.
If the Jets end up winning like 10 games, I'm not saying when. I'm saying if
the Jets win 10 games.
If the Jets win 10 games, then it's like what? Like nobody's gonna believe in them to do it to like win a playoff game, but like you have to respect them.
If the
Giants win 10 games, do we really believe they're gonna?
The Giants very easy can win 10 games because their next 4 games are ridiculously easy.
But when we say we have 4 games on our schedule that are ridiculously easy, you guys roll the fucking your eyes back into your heads.
Jaguars.
But the Giants schedule is easier than your schedule.
No, I'm just saying we have 4 of the worst teams in football on our team, just as they do.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a world where we both have 10 wins. Maybe the Giants get 11. Who cares, right? If the Giants get 11, like, do we think they really have a chance of winning a playoff game?
But
No.
I will say this: looks like the Jets. If the Giants and Jets somehow get the double-digit wins, they're teams that nobody wants to have to deal with.
They're frisky
in the first round. Then you're wondering, do we even want to have to deal with these guys coming into our stadium as a wild card team and thinking like, you know, we have to deal with that team on the road. They're just crazy kids. They don't care. They don't even like for them to win 10 games. They really just don't care. You're not going to scare a Jets team with these kids that are going to win 10 games. That's not possible.
So you're telling me that Jet. So what would happen is that Jet team more than likely would have to run it back with the Bengals or the Ravens because that'll probably.
I love that.
That would probably be the lowest
or
division winner,
you guys,
and the Jets would be the highest, or us. And I love that.
I love that.
All right.
If you don't get
DJ Moore, I will cherish the Jets going to Tennessee against Treylon Burks
Maybe.
whoever that other guy is,
Robert Woods.
Robert Woods.
Robert Woods, the ghost of Robert Woods, and
The
basically
ghost
like
of Robert.
whoever that is truly the ghost of Robert Woods right now, and whoever's the third wide receiver, just put Michael Carter and he's just gone. Who cares? Like, but so like
So who cares?
if we go in there and we just completely just maul Ryan Tannehill, I will be insufferable, Mike.
You think, Mike, we will do the fusion
Insufferable,
dance, Roslyn, and fucking ruin you up and down.
I will be insufferable because Dylan is
But-
just going to keep talking about your. He's just going to keep talking about. He's just going to keep talking about.
You think I'm bad talking about me beating that ass like a drum last year? Wait till it's a game that fucking matters.
But Mike, you know, I looked at you in your
world?
eyes and told you. I told you that, Mike.
In what world do we live in where the Jets make the playoffs and have to play the
Where-
Titans?
Where the Titans win. Then
money.
what?
And you should. You should win.
Then,
Then-
oh,
then-
oh,
Jets are-
then you should.
Jets are-
You should
See,
win.
that's how they track
No.
You see,
No,
That's how they track
you
it.
see,
Then you're going to be insufferable, and I'm going to have to take that.
Oh, yeah, I
It
have
wouldn't
to
be
eat
the
it.
first time.
But Mike, if
Wouldn't be the
that
first
were to
time.
happen where the Jets have to meet up with Tennessee in the playoffs, it'll feel an awful lot like
oh,
2009.
we're having a party.
It'll feel an awful lot like 2009.
I might actually go to that game. I might really actually try to go to that game. If they meet the Titans in the playoffs in the first round, I might literally try to go to that game.
It'll feel
I'm-
like
I'm-
2009 all over again, Roz.
I might
It'll
be
feel like 2009.
in Nashville.
And if it's 2009 and the Jets in the playoffs, nobody wants to play them.
Nobody.
Unless your name is Peyton Manning. But
Unless
he ain't
your
walking
name
through
is-
that door.
Unless your name is Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen
Oh, no, we're
or
not beating
Lamar
them.
Jackson.
No, that Ravens game, the Ravens are not. I don't want to hear any of that bullshit about the Ravens being this great team when they lost to that Giants team and they played a statue of Joe
The
Flacco and a
Giants-
fucking fourth string offensive line. They
The
didn't play
Giants
our team.
Beat the Ravens. The Ravens.
Giants have their
beat
starters.
The Jets.
The Giants have the starters. The Jets did not.
The Giants are also going to be a team that nobody wants to deal with.
The Giants will
because
also be that, yes.
the NFC isn't very outside of the Eagles, and maybe
Imagine the
Vi-
Giants
the
match up with
Vikings.
like the Bucks.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
that's-
what that matchup would be. It'd be
that's
the
exactly
Bucks
what it'd be.
probably,
That
or
would
maybe
be
the Rams
unbelievable.
or the Niners. I could see.
Actually, it would be an NFC West team. It
That
would be an
Niners
NFC
game
West
is
team.
winnable. That Niners game is winnable.
I
Oh
think
yeah,
I think any of the NFC West teams is winnable, and I think the Bucks are winnable.
I don't know if the Giants match up well with the Rams, though.
I don't think the
Rams don't have an offensive line.
I don't think the Rams have a pretty great
Or a
shot
good
of winning
defense.
that division. I think the Rams are in a bad spot right now. I don't know what's going on with the Rams. The defense is still, like they still have the talent on defense. I think that's the most surprising thing to
Stafford.
me is that the
Stafford's been
defense
playing
is
very
overperforming.
lackluster.
Stafford's old. He won a Super Bowl.
He's 34. He ain't that
That's
old.
old. That's
No.
old. In
He's
I
sports.
taking-
think-
For
he's
a
taking
quarterback,
He's taking a lot of
For a
punishment.
quarterback who
for real,
played-
though.
Yeah, he's taking
Over a decade in
lot
Detroit?
of punishment.
That's
He's
all.
taking a lot of punishment. He's taking
Detroit
a
years
lot
are like
of
dog
shots.
years.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? I guess people aren't understanding.
You're muted.
This is becoming an issue a lot this year, and it's not being talked about enough. There's a lot of teams suffering from a lot of terrible offensive lineman play, whether it's to injury or whether it's just regressing to the mean, whatever it is. But they lose Andre Whitworth, and it's like
It's a
the
whole different team.
a whole different team.
When they lost one guy.
It's like what? And then like
you know,
How about the Bengals? The Bengals go and get Lael Collins, who is for 5 years one of the best right tackles in football,
he's a turnstile
and
this
he's a
season so far.
dog shit.
Yeah. You know, the Colts lose Nelson, and that's huge. And, you know, you can't blame them. They've had their issues.
Titans
You know,
lose Taylor Lewan, who's already
Taylor
washed, but now
Lewan.
that left tackle's still not great.
I mean,
Taylor Lewan, look, Mike, I'm not saying Taylor Lewan's washed to be mean. Taylor Lewan's washed because he gets hurt every year.
but you
That's
know,
what
also,
I mean. Is he? Doesn't he, Mike?
He's injury prone.
Yes.
So, I mean, like this, you know, I think
I like
even
Taylor Lewan.
the Patriots change out some of their O linemen because guys are getting like people like bowled over and stuff like that. There's a lot of like bad O linemen in this. I feel like it's weird too. I feel like I don't recall seeing so many people getting mauled like that, like quarterbacks, and it makes it seem like someone was telling me, I was talking to them, they were saying like, oh, well, there's just not enough great quarterbacks now in the league. And I'm sitting here like, yeah, I guess you're saying like the whole generation of quarterbacks went right now, or they're going, and you know, there's not too many people to take their spot. But I just don't think that there are many that quarterbacks were just that bad. Because it was just a year ago we were talking about the new generations of quarterbacks just being just like great and even greater than possibly the last generation if possible. But now 1 year passes and everyone is just terrible. And I think it's the O-line playing a little bit more than
That's what I feel like. It feels like there's just a lot of mediocre play going on right now.
The O-linemen that they're not, people are just not blocking sometimes. I think I was watching a replay of, I definitely watched the Jets Packers, and I was definitely watching, I want to say it was, what other game? I was watching two games specifically. I can't remember, but there was just times where people just weren't blocking. like not even like getting beat. They were just like assignments being missed. And I'm like, how is that?
George Fant against the Bengals every snap.
Yeah, how is that possible? Like, it could be the fact, and you know, the players are alluding to the fact that, oh, well, this is what happens when we're not getting a chance to ramp up as much as we used to in our early careers. We have to pare it down. And so the first 2 weeks are basically like our way of, you know, like getting used to the speed of the game and guys playing and stuff. And I'm just like,
that's an excuse, but like you have guys like Elijah Vera Tucker who are playing positions he's never played before on the offensive line and playing great. So like, I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's dog shit. If Elijah Vera Tucker, who's never played right tackle before in his life, goes and plays 2 straight games and doesn't allow a single pressure at right tackle after playing right guard, left tackle, like left guard, like you could play your fucking position and be in shape for your position. Just keep yourself fucking ready.
Yeah. And
that's
the pendulum swings.
Shit.
The pendulum swings. And I think next year, now, you know what's also very interesting? How about the year of the running back, by the way, too? And the running back market that was so devalued for the last 5 years, we can just get a guy off the street, get a guy for 4th round, 5th round pick. Don't be surprised if Saquon Barkley, and certainly don't be surprised.
Saquon Barkley's going to get a bag.
Don't be surprised.
What's a running back bag these days?
I mean, he's going to reset the market.
20 plus.
They're going to reset the market.
They're not paying him no fucking 20.
We'll see.
How much you want bet?
I will bet an arm, a leg, a toenail. I will bet everything.
I don't want
your 20 mil.
I'll take your arm.
Barkley resets the market. Saquon Barkley
what did Zeke get? Zeke got like 18?
No, Zeke got like 15.
Oh yeah, Saquon will get 20.
McCaffrey got like what?
No, Zeke not making 20 yet.
17 or 18?
No, Zeke signed
Zeke was gonna get close to 20 by the last year of his contract.
He signed like a 5-year, $90 million deal. It's like $50 million guaranteed.
Zeke's close to 20. I think McCaffrey is like 17. Saquon will get 20.
McCaffrey's 16. He did like a 4-year, $64 million.
Saquon will get 20.
Yeah, Saquon's
the Giants don't have. Well, never mind. I'm not gonna say the Giants don't have money on their books. They have money on their books this year, and the dead money will start to come off next year. If they could get rid of Galladay,
which they won't,
then they'll because that'll just be more dead money.
Speaking of Galladay, I think a team should check him out too.
No one's gonna
too much dead money.
Nobody wants that bag of bones.
He's year two, and
wants
he's
those
year 2 in his contract. You can't take that. He's just gonna be. Once his contract's up, or the Giants can get rid of him, Galladay's career is over.
Like,
Galladay, it's career suicide what he's doing. He's going in there and challenging Daboll, and Daboll is a good coach and will challenge the guys who are making money. Nick fans, challenge the guy who is making money and will just not play him.
Listen, I'm happy with what we got, but I'm telling you right now, watch Saquon Barkley, watch Josh Jacobs reset the running back market. Those
Jacobs not so much about Barkley will.
No, those two got no. Josh Jacobs.
Josh is going to get a bag, but Barkley's what Barkley does with the ball in the passing game.
Of course, but Josh Jacobs was also no slouch in the passing game. But McDaniels doesn't throw the ball to him.
Idiot.
He was definitely not a slouch when he came into his league in the passing game. In fact, that's what he was touted for coming out of Alabama, which is he was the guy who could do both. And he stormed the league the first year and was doing both. Josh Jacobs is going to price himself out of Las Vegas. That's going to be a huge blow.
He might.
Money in dumb places.
Saquon Barkley.
I actually couldn't see that happening too, unfortunately.
Saquon Barkley is going to be. He's going to be the one though. He's going to. And then.
So, what do you think his contract would look like?
He'll get a 5-year over $100 million
I don't think
contract.
he's signing anything less than 5. I don't think he signs anything less than 5. The Giants might be the ones to give it to him. I think they should.
The Giants will tag him and then try to restructure their contracts to give him what he wants. The Giants don't have money.
Yeah,
the Giants are still negative cap.
Yeah, well, geez, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think. But who needs? The question is as a budget team, who needs running backs? But I can't. I'm not sure who's the running. I mean,
but he's not just a running back; he's a playmaker. Like,
no, he's a home run hitter. He's a home run hitter. But what team needs that and can afford to pay it?
That's the whole thing.
Every team could use a playmaker.
But can you use a playmaker for $20+ million a year?
That's the question.
There's got to be a team that's on the cusp.
Because you go and you give Kansas City a Saquon Barkley, and then you're just dumb. You're just letting that team be there forever. You go give the Bills a guy like Saquon Barkley, then you're just fucking stupid. You're just giving these guys something forever.
You give the Ravens Saquon Barkley.
You give the Ravens Saquon Barkley, and it's like, okay, cool. They actually have a weapon on their team that can do stuff.
Well, the Ravens have to sign Lamar first.
Well,
yeah,
and they're not doing that.
Lamar's gonna.
You go give Philly Saquon Barkley.
Well, that's something. I mean,
Miles Sanders is pretty good.
I like Miles,
but he's not
Sanders,
Saquon Barkley.
I don't think the Giants allow that to happen.
Hey,
I don't know. I don't know who you could also.
It's Cam Akers. How about that?
I mean, yeah, he's the other guy that you can get right now.
He's about the trademark.
He might be good. How about this? What if you give the Dolphins Saquon Barkley?
They have way too much money on their books. They can't afford him.
They can't afford.
They're paying 2 corners that Byron Jones and Xavier Howard are both getting paid.
What's their cap space?
They have like nothing. Tyreek Hill just got a massive contract. Jalen Waddle's on a first-round pick contract. Tua's about to be re-signed, get a bag. They just signed Tariq Armstead on their team. Jerome Baker's making money. Jalen Phillips is making like $15 million a year because he was a first-round pick.
But they have $17 million in cap space still with all that.
And Chase Edmonds is still making money too, but Tyreek Hill's contract doesn't pop until next year.
But they have the 10th most cap space.
I don't understand how right now or going into next year.
Oh, right now.
Tyreek's contract doesn't pop in until next year, and then Tua's contract is officially off the books because I don't think did they pick up his 5th-year option?
I don't think they did.
I don't think they did.
Barely any dead money too. Actually, that's interesting.
Yeah, and Xavier Howard got his contract this year too.
Yeah, we'll see how it escalates.
Next year is where their money is going to be real tight.
Well, Cleveland has ungodly amounts of cap space. I
don't understand how Cleveland does.
How Cleveland has
because they're only playing.
Deshaun Watson's got $1 million right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have quarterback salary on their books this year.
I saw $43 million, and I was like,
and about 25-30 of that's going to Deshaun next year.
Yep.
The Patriots have a lot of cap space too.
Yeah,
Patriots
Patriots
don't have
cut
any
all their
good
ties
players.
last year.
Patriots
Yeah.
don't have any good players.
But do you think they would go after him? I mean,
No.
Ramondre Stevenson
No.
is awesome, but I
No.
don't see them doing
No.
that.
Bill's not going to pay a running back.
You know, like I don't think that's going to be a thing that they do.
Bill doesn't pay wide receivers either. Bill pays defense.
Yeah, I mean, like all the teams that have the cap space, you know, like
It doesn't make a difference to them. It's not going to push them. It's not going to make them a serious contender getting Saquon Barkley.
yeah, I think the Giants have a lot of cap space next year.
Yeah, all their dead money comes off the books next year, so I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, they have tons of cap space next year.
Because I think this is the last year they were paying Odell. Some shit like that.
This can't be right. No way this cap space is right. It says that
Well, Daniel Jones isn't on their books next year.
It says that the Bears have $115 million in cap space next year.
The Bills have a ton of dead money.
No, the Bears.
Oh, the Bears. Yeah, the Bears have a ton of dead money on their books still.
No, they have only $8 million in dead money.
Really?
Yeah.
They must have came off from last year because they still were playing Khalil Mack for like 3 years. They had a couple other guys that they were paying too that they released. Eddie Jackson's still there. There's a few guys that they had to fuck around with and get rid of their money.
Yeah.
But what? They don't have a big money wide receiver. Allen Robinson's gone. They don't have offensive line. Justin Fields is on a rookie deal. The only person on the defense making money is Roquan Smith. They restructured Eddie Jackson's contract from that bullshit they gave him. Kyle Fuller's not on that team anymore.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
In fact, the Giants will have $61 million in cap next year and only $152,000 in dead cap.
And then that's when they'll get rid of Galladay.
Yep. Falcons are next. Patriots are number 2, 62 with $1 million in dead cap, and then the Bears.
Yeah, no J.C. Jackson, no Shaq Mason.
How do the Bears have $115 million?
They have a bunch of vets on the team making no money. The only person on that team making money is Roquan Smith. Actually, no, he didn't get his contract yet.
No,
he didn't get his contract yet.
The Bengals have $52 million in cap space. Like,
Burrow's still on a rookie deal. Oh, the whole wide receiving room's on a rookie deal besides Boyd.
Yeah, they're going to be strapped very soon.
They have 3 more years.
They have to. I mean, like there are rules in the NFL where you have to pay a certain amount of money up to the cap over a certain amount of time. I don't know how they're going to spend. They have to spend like drunken sailors.
Well, $75 million on their offensive line this year in the offseason.
They have to spend. The Bears have to spend massive amounts of money this upcoming offseason.
Oh, the Bears will be fine.
They're mandated that they have to actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think they do. They have to. The ceiling, I believe.
They'll give guys contracts. They'll fill those slots there. There's no problem. It's just a matter of finding guys who want to play there.
That's the biggest problem.
Yeah, I think the other interesting thing about all this, how this shakes out, is there are teams that like the Bengals who have like tons of cap space as well too. Like to be able to do they pay Jesse Bates maybe, and then there's teams that can make the cap space like the Jets can just instantly just
create cap space,
like $45 to $50 million.
C.J. Mosley, Carl Lawson, Corey Davis.
Yeah, and like there's maybe a few, but those 3 right there is like $45 million.
Corey Davis can go. I want Carl Lawson to stay.
All right, I've had enough dead money talk. That was Fantasy Focus. Mike Ortiz, Cross County Mortgage, and we already did I'm Him. I'm assuming Dylan does have in trivia. I don't have a top 5, so that means we are.
It's hard to put trivia in a 3-hour show, Mike.
This is true. This is true. Let's put the graphic up. You follow us on all of these platforms. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Twitch, iHeartRadio, Instagram, Twitter. You get it. We're on there. Make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe button. Hit that notification. We appreciate it. And yeah, we're going to go to these goodbyes. And we are going to start with Enoch. Go ahead, sir.
Alrighty, guys. Another week. A great week. Another great episode. Shout out to our special guest. Again, just doing it, getting better every week. That's just the plan. Raiders are on a bye week. We were well rested. By this time next week, we'll have thrashed the Texans, and the Knicks will get a W as well. So next week will be a great week.
Before you go, Anthony, because we don't know how things are going to shake out in baseball by the time we get to next week. We may be doing our World Series preview. Do you want to make any LCS predictions? Because your wild card predictions was terribly wrong. Your your division series predictions was terribly wrong. So you want to keep going? You want to go for the trifecta?
I'm gonna take a bye week too from this time.
What a fucking loser!
But I will be planning a money bet for the World Series. So
but it has to go your way, and the Yankees can't be in it.
That's pretty much
catch y'all next week.
See, yeah.
Oh, Roz.
Yeah. So definitely shout out. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to us. It's awesome to have you tune in every single time. We want to make sure to give you the best content we possibly can, and I hope that you enjoyed this episode as well too. As you can see, tonight was business. I was in my business attire. All the teams came through. It was a wonderful time. To be a New York sports fan, leave it at that. But look out for next content. Look out for the new content. We'd love to hear your feedback. So please, if you're on any of the platforms, you want to message or comment, please leave some comments. And just keep tuning in. And thank you so much for spending your time with us again. We're just only getting better. So look out for some more new content and the next episode. I'll see you then.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Too busy thinking about how the Jets are 4-2. Jets are 4-2. The Nets play Wednesday against the Pelicans. Going to force feed Zion some food, that fat fuck. And the Yankees are going to beat the shit out of the fucking Astros. Go Jets.
Wow, that was simple and to the point. All right.
Get me off the fucking screen, Mike.
You're off the screen. You're off the screen. Thanks everyone for watching. We do appreciate it. Like I said, follow us wherever you get your podcast. Appreciate Brandon coming on. Yeah, man. Follow me on the socials. IAM_MBJ on the socials. Shout out to the Triple B's group chat. Shout out to the OTTR family too. I have been on vacation for the last couple of weeks, but I will be coming back soon to cause havoc. And just follow us. We're going to keep pumping out the content, trying to line up some interviews and some fun stuff. We still have some other stuff to deal with in terms of special bonus episodes, and stay tuned. We'll keep you posted. But with that being said, got everybody here. I don't think there's anything else to really say except go Yankees.
Jets. Sorry.
Go Rangers.
Go Yankees.
One
go
nation.
Rangers. Go Jets.
One
go
nation.
Nets.
One
Raiders are
nation.
1-4. The Raiders are the worst
One
team on the
nation.
podcast. Worst team.